Greetings.
OMG, we're back.
We're back. Back in full effect.
It's happened again.
It is. Can y'all
Paul,
hear
you
us?
didn't miss the pregame show unless you're not here anymore.
That's true.
Then maybe you did.
Then you did. Unless
Or
and if you're in the
Make
future,
sure we're not muted, big guy.
yeah, I'm looking.
Right.
Everything's white,
All right.
clear, and
Oh,
yeah. So
5 by 5 as the kids said.
5 by 5.
Never back in the sci-fi future.
Sci-fi future. Man, I
Little
wonder
bit
if that's where
little bit of
Paul. Wonder if that's where Paul's at. If that's where he missed the pre-show because he was in the sci-fi future.
No.
Paul must have got them future internet files. That's what must have happened. And dang.
Paul, I hope that didn't happen to you, man. That's rough. If that went down, buddy, I feel real bad because there's a lot of things wrong with that.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with those fifths. You get screwed up.
You you do. M says he hears all the things. So awesome.
Oh, beautiful.
And you can count on M. That's what he told us. Man.
You can count on him.
We're
We're the motherfucking Turtle
Oh my
Soup
goodness.
Show. Come on. You can count. Oh, sorry. It's pregame show. I can say that. One time.
That's true. You can say it one time. That's it. That's all you get. Lex
There we
says that she's not hanging out with either of us this weekend, which is why she's here. And sad miss y'all no hetero. What's a sad? Okay, I get it. I had to put all that
Just
lingo together.
words that she put together.
That's true. That's all
That
any language is.
She designed that rhyme
Oh,
to explain in due time.
so yeah, we cannot have a paperback whale practice now without somebody opening up Young Chang and playing that song. Like it never fails. And I think only Mike is the one who remembers what key it's in every time. Like Father Preston and I and Pat, we all have to like fumble around to figure it out. But you'd think
So he
it'd
knows
be
what key it's in due time.
in due time, and you'd think it'd be easy because it starts with one thing. Goodness.
Why?
Oh man.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, we are really glad that you guys are here.
We are.
We really missed being here.
Oh, definitely. Totally did. That was on me. So I don't know how much we all went into it, but had a panic attack and it was not fun and it was not good. But I mean, it was fine, but it was also not fine. But anyway, we came out on the other side and we're better for it and stronger, faster. Other things that Daft Punk said, and yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So
That's where we're at. I got all my show notes open, so now I can dedicate my full attention to the pregame show.
legit. Okay. I'm gonna try.
So I'm good there.
I'm gonna try something since we're still in the pregame show. If this messes anything up, we'll be right back. But I have an automated switcher that isn't on, so I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna turn it on and see what happens. So y'all bear with us. Let's see, because it should just do what it normally does. Here we go.
Hopefully.
All right.
I'm waiting. Oh god.
Oh, see, it just threw us to the news. Like, what? I don't know why I did that. All right, here we go. We coming back. There we go. Now we're back.
All right. We're
So
back.
now the switcher's on. Everything's going. Everything's good. You can hear us. All right. That's what the pregame show's for. That's what it's for. It's what it's here for.
Lex, there was probably a little bit of disco in Eric's panic, to be honest. There always kind
just
of
a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a touch.
Just
a skosh.
Just a little, just a touch. Oh my God, man, guys. So Lex is in the chat, so I can tell y'all that Lex inspired me to start working out more, and I bought an exercise bike, and I've been on the exercise bike, and my legs hurt.
Oh yeah, dang. You on that exercise bike thing now? That's awesome.
Yeah,
How far'd you go?
Yeah, and it's
or like, are you doing minutes?
let's see. Doing minutes. I
Okay.
make about 4 miles now. I'm at like 15 minutes, and then
Okay.
like it specifically like it's the muscles that connect like your groin to your upper thigh, like those ones that run diagonal,
Yeah.
like that go like that connect to the very top muscles of your leg.
Can you show us real
inside.
quick? Can you show us?
Yeah. Let me just go ahead and So those, man, burn like hell, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and then like 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's not a cardio thing. It's not a like I'm not like at 15 minutes I'm like sucking air. I'm fine. It's just those muscles hurt too much, and I'm like I
Yeah.
gotta stop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing 15 minutes on the bike every day until they don't hurt anymore.
That's awesome.
And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's great.
but yeah, I wanted to shout out Lex because she's inspiring.
She is
inspired
inspiring.
me.
She's
Do her thing, so
inspiring you
we're doing
to she inspires you to perspire. Oh, she hates me right now. But yeah, that's awesome. I've always loved the exercise bike. I have like memories of being on my grandfather's watching the 60s Batman on like reruns like on cable TV.
Oh,
And I always loved it, and I
yeah.
never owned one until I was an adult, and I got one, and it was kind of garbage. Not really garbage, that's extreme. No, I think my dad got me one, and it didn't do what I like. It had the arms that came at you, and I think that like that was not
the arms
conducive
that
to like a
move.
relaxing.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
I didn't really care for that, but God bless them for doing it for me, you know, because some people's parents don't buy them exercise equipment, so I need to count my blessings. But nevertheless, I used the hell out of it, and I loved it. And then we when the pandemic started, I ended up my wife and we ended up finding one at Walmart, and I loved it, and I'm on it almost all the time unless my back is messed up, and then I got to give it a break. But yeah, I can do I could do about an hour, but that's because I've been doing it for like years. But it's just mostly what I do is I get on like and I play like a game, or I'm generally watching something or playing a game, and then the time just like flies because I got to have the two birds. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how it goes. Two birds.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then like when that sweat starts coming down, you're hitting it, and it's like I did something today.
No, like. Yeah, so I have the scoliosis. I prefer sitting in a chair version.
Yeah,
which is the one where like it's just forward, like the pedals are forward,
Oh, and then you lean back.
And and like I think that's probably getting those muscles inside going. That's a little different.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. Yeah,
because I can tell you, like I was going to the gym for a while, and I could do like 45 minutes an hour on a treadmill with a good incline, going pretty fast, and I wasn't. My legs, I mean, they felt kind of jellyish after, but they didn't like. There wasn't like a specific muscle pain,
right?
So I think I'm definitely building up those muscles, because apparently I just don't use them. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
M is filling the chat with Mazzy Star lyrics right now.
That's amazing. Oh, that's right. He sent me something about that.
3 sets of these headphones, MDR 7506 of Sony's, from the Mazzy Star lot. And now he's just dropping those lyrics all the time. And Lex says that she always hates Eric. And
that's true.
I can tell you that that's accurate. That typically her and I have a support group. It's a one-member support group because I'm not in the group. And Lex says, she just comes over and says, I really hate Eric. And I'm like, how do you feel about that? And she's like, I feel like I hate him. And I'm like, how does that make you feel?
Right.
And we basically run through that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, it makes me feel like I hate him. And I'm like, well, how is that affecting you? She's like, well, it's filling me with hate. And we do that for about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then, so.
It's nice to be appreciated.
I'm always the one there saying, oh, I love Eric. Eric's the best. And you're kind of an animal for that.
Dang.
But then we get into private time that I can't talk about where we switch roles. And I might say some things.
That makes sense. I get that.
HIPAA.
Oh my Lord.
HIPAA violation.
So yeah, let's see here. I'm doing some post-production.
Saying they do work different muscles. They do work more different muscles. I tell you, Lex. I was texting her. I was like, "Yo, these muscles though." Although I did install grip tape on the pedals because my feet were slipping off. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That way,
and Em's
once
right.
you start slipping, you're slipping.
No, what's a slip? No, I'm slipping. Em says one of those Sonys might have been used for fade. You're correct. That would be kind of cool. Although, I mean, I got a feeling that it's just all overpriced. I didn't really look at the Mazzy Star lot on Reverb, but I just figured it would be like, oh, you want $100 pair of headphones? Well, they're $400 because they're Mazzy Star headphones. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't necessarily have the cheese.
But like, if
You know
that's
what I'm
your
saying?
thing,
To
like,
spend on that.
if that's your thing, then by all means, like, that's amazing. Like, that's awesome. Like, you do your
Oh
thing. Like,
no, if you can run
honestly,
that, you can run that plan, run it.
I'm on that thing right now where if it doesn't have Pokemon on it, I really, it's taking a lot of effort for me to like pay any attention to it. And I realize that that's, horrible, but we're all allowed to be horrible occasionally. But yeah, man, are you cold?
There's a lot of things happening. Am I cold?
Yeah, are you cold? I'm cold. Here, give me a second. You keep going. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. He's going to show something off that's probably hoodie related, guys, or beanie related, or something I don't know about. So I'll just catch up with chat until Eric can show off his stuff. So Lex says that we should talk more about her and stuff related to her because it keeps her interest longer. And we're back. Okay, so everyone, yep, everyone just enjoy that.
Oh man, oh that's so much better.
Oh, cool.
Whew. Oh man, yeah. You see this?
You should talk about what you just did. Where the hell did you find that?
So
this is also not this is not Lex related, by the way. So I mean that's a problem.
This is technically Lex related. This is 100% Lex related.
Oh, is it?
It is because Lex went with my wife and I. We went to Wiki Watchy, and we ended up at a thrift store. And this glorious jacket, which by the way, let me show you the back. Let me show you the back.
There's no. Oh yeah. The horse is so nice. We printed them twice.
Yeah. So this was on the end of a thing, like the row of a rack of clothes, and I told Lex, I'm like, if that's like less than $5, I'm buying that. And I go to get it, Ryan, and this lady, this woman on oxygen was walking. She cut me off, Ryan. Like I was full stride. And this woman cut me off, and she's looking at it, and she's talking to someone in the line, which is like down the row, and she's yelling at him, talking about getting it. And I'm like, Jesus, I need you right now, Lord. I need a hedge of protection over that coat. I need you to make it where she don't like it no more. And she's like, and God's like, I got you.
Protection.
And and then he did. And then whenever I tried it on and it fit like a glove, Ryan, and I couldn't have quit. So
nice.
I made my wife get it for me for, I think it was like $2 because it was half off. And yeah, Lex was there for that, and she encouraged it. And so she took one of the most unflattering photos of me I've ever seen in my life, where I look like a homeless person, which homeless people aren't necessarily unflattering. It's just all those things combined made for a picture that is
way to backtrack out of that one.
Yeah, see? There you go. That's what I do.
John Clemens says his friend wants to go out for wings, and that's gross. And I agree, because he's supposed to stay inside a darkened apartment and watch two guys his age dissect an insane cartoon show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll make the after show. You should, John. M's just going all over all of it now. Apparently the headphones were only $130 for 3 pair, which is a good deal.
For 3 pairs.
For some Sonys, yeah, man. I mean,
that's really good.
Spent about $20 a piece to redo the cups, like fix the pads. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself some nice pads. That's still good. Man, John Clemens says he won a Corsair gaming headset once. It was dope. Damn.
Oh, that's sick. Winning stuff is awesome.
Sony MDR 7506, best headphones ever made. Take that to the bank.
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. If only they made one with like an equally good like Sony headphone, that like just a microphone that came out. So it was like a gaming headset, but they were 7506s at the heart. Oh
yeah,
get out of here.
If only.
Get out of here. Everybody's loving this.
Loving what?
So now M's dropping breeder's lyrics. I saw a live version of Cannonball on Facebook a couple days ago, and I was surprised at how much it sounded like the recording. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because it just sounds like And I never saw the Breeders live. But that song in particular, Cannonball, sounds like it kind of like if you played it live, it wouldn't sound like the recording. Like, because it's got like acoustic and it's also got like distorted guitar and it's got the bass thing and then like the drumsticks are playing on the rim and
Right.
there's a lot of little stuff happening. There's like distorted mics going on and there's weird shit. And I was like really surprised when they played it. I was like, yeah, no, that's exactly what that sounds like. I was pretty impressed.
Who was in the Breeders again? Wasn't it two sisters? Wasn't that the Deals?
No, yeah, it was mainly Pat Deal, right?
I don't remember.
From no, man, no, it was a chick from the Pixies.
That's what I was thinking. Kim Deal? Or is that
Kim Deal?
Okay,
that's it. Kim, yeah.
I know a little bit about some 90s music.
But there was other good personnel in there too. I for some reason can't.
I thought it was both her and her sister were in that band, but
yeah, her and Kelly Deal.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I thought that she played an acoustic guitar and then just it had a pickup in it, and then also just hit a fuzz on it, and was like, "I'm just gonna like also have this be electric guitar." I was like, "I like that."
Yeah, I'm there for that. Yeah, that works for me.
Em needs to replace the curly cord with a regular one on those. I have not done that yet. I really want to do that mod. One mod I really want to do that I've just never stepped. I think I bought the jacks to do it. I wanted to do the drill out the cable that connects here and solder in an 1/8 inch input or output, and just have your own 1/8 inch stereo cables.
Oh, okay.
Like
that'd be neat.
Kind of like how Beats does, because that's kind of that's a classic Sony 7506 mod that I've just never gotten around to. But I wish I could. Horse Soup Hoodie Podcast. Is it a hoodie? Does it have a hood?
No, unfortunately not. No, it's just got a collar and the horse is in the back. You know what I'm saying? So
okay,
that's all it got. But
I've found that I have a lot more confidence when I'm wearing these sunglasses. Like, is that weird? I didn't know. I think it's because I don't have to worry about what I'm doing with my eyes.
That's true. I mean, there's
like, it doesn't matter where I look. Like, I just kind of do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. It doesn't matter where I'm looking because I'm always kind of looking at you.
It's kind of like a form of
sunglasses. Whereas
it's like a form of anonymity a little bit.
When you run this, you're always like, what are my eyes saying? Are my eyes like excited?
Yeah.
Do my eyes look tired? Am I looking like this? Or like this? Or am I like looking away like an idiot?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But when you put them on, you're just like,
yep,
I'm just here, y'all.
You're just here. Exactly. No, I totally get that.
Look out.
Uh-oh. Something's happening.
We're gonna hat swap.
Hat swap. Hat swap. That's what the pregame shows.
We gotta stay. We gotta stay Lex centric.
We do.
So
we do. Oh man. All right, let's see if this wrecks.
On with that.
Everything.
There we go. How's that look, Lex? We down? Lex, should I be dead on with the hat, straight up, or should I have a little bit of a kick? You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. A little bit of a kick over like this, maybe. A little kick.
Oh, a little. I like a little kick.
Get with me. Get at me.
I like a little kick.
I'm wearing this shirt that I had made in Atlanta that my wife designed. This thing,
yeah,
and it says the Charles Atlas seal of approval.
Oh, nice.
You probably can't see it. It's over
I can see it a little bit.
She had that made into a stamp.
Yeah,
like an actual stamp. Because she wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's a Rocky Horror joke. And we had them printed on shirts in Atlanta, and I'm wearing it today. And it's a comfy baseball shirt.
That's legit.
That's why I'm not cold. I got cold last night though, man.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like it cooled down a little last night. Did you feel that?
No. Well, maybe.
That rain came through and like
I think I did.
For the first time since like March, I felt like cold air behind the rain. Where I was like, bro, like, is that cool air? And sure enough, it actually like kind of cooled down, and then my AC started kicking like real hard.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching the Rays game, and your boy had like bro, I was bundled up with like a hoodie, dog. I had the hoodie like over me, like kind of like Charles Xavier, but like up, not down, not on the legs, but like up over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it was like crazy.
Yeah. Lordy day.
Lex says sidekick 10 out of 10. Love it. Horse jacket's worse in person. I gotta see it in person.
It is worse in person.
And John Klein checking in. Hey, daddies.
Hey.
He says I'm Big Papa Cool. Man, I'm winning. I'm winning this pregame show.
You totally are. That's good.
I'm living life. You got your hoodie on. You know what I'm saying? We did all that.
Doesn't have a hoodie, but
I'm rocking this. I'm not going to act like I might not rock these sunglasses into the main show. You know what I'm saying? I need a show of hands. Who thinks I should run the sunglasses into the main show, and who thinks I should just like take them off and do main show without them?
I don't know. The only thing is that the reflection in them are giving away some of the surprises we got.
Oh, can you see show notes in those?
I can read them from here. I can read all of them, like dead ass.
You can read the actual points,
every single point,
like the actual document. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. It's
oh my god, that's nuts. Yo, note to Ryan: don't play poker in these, bitch.
Yeah,
don't play poker in these. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it.
Talk about like, yeah, we'll go all in. Like, yeah, sure, go for it. I love that for you.
Yeah,
I love that for you.
Oh man,
Jesus. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I was just playing, but I think they look fine. It's up to you. I don't. Really
Can you
care.
really? No. Well, why are you playing? Can you read? Can you really? Because
I can see a reflection.
Okay, the reason I believed you on you could read the show notes though is because you have a way bigger version of me, like on your laptop screen. And like I didn't know if you had access to my raw feed from Discord where it was like as big as your monitor, and maybe you could read them.
Oh no! You have a misconception, my friend. I have two very small versions of you, and then I have one that's like maybe 3 times bigger than that small version to my left. I don't have any. You are not full screen anywhere on my screen. So yeah, I unfortunately, I do not have that capability. But yeah. So no, I was just yanking your chain, as the kids say.
I just don't know if people would appreciate like in future times being like, hey, let's just tune into this news segment. Why is he wearing sunglasses?
Real quick, let's think of like some TV celebrities who wore sunglasses. Maybe not even TV celebrities, just celebrities that wore sunglasses on like camera. You know what I'm saying?
Lane Staley, all the time.
Ray Charles, all the time.
Ray Charles, all the time. Roy Orbison, all the time.
Roy Orbison. Did Max Headroom have sunglasses?
He sure did. Never saw him without him.
Never saw him. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Daft Punk wore helmets, which are kind of like sunglasses, but like helmets for your eyes. So that kind of counts.
Damn, M says shot to the ego. That was M. That was it. I'm glad you picked up on that. I'm glad you saw my ego get crushed a little bit.
Oh man, I wasn't trying to do that.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right,
my bad.
I got. Unfortunately, I guess I got a face made for podcasting, but then we took this thing live. You know what I'm saying? Like now, here's where I'm at. I'm stuck. Here's where I'm at. I'm stuck here.
Well, instead of just one giant size version of you, I've got 3 little versions of you.
Oh,
so
there we go.
It's.
So I got. Oh, okay. So it's quantity over quality.
And there's only 2 versions of me, and one of them is obscured. So there you go. That should tell you something.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and John Klein says
really is 2 monitors away.
I was just about to say that. Yep.
No, he is. He is close. He's close.
I think right now I'm 3.
Yeah, I mean, I would have 3. I would have 3 if my monitor let my if my monitor or my computer ran 3 monitors and my video card does not.
Yeah.
So I have the TV up there doing. I'd probably have the Bucks game on. Hate to say it.
Probably.
I'm gonna miss the Bucks game. The Bucks season openers tonight, guys.
Well, that's
how you know I love y'all.
It is.
I love y'all. I'm not even gonna put the Bucks game on because I know what's gonna happen.
It's doing it for
I know
the
what's
kids.
gonna happen. I'm gonna be like, that's what it's gonna look like the whole time, and you'll be able to watch the game in the reflection of my sunglasses. So I'll be given away. That is like the tiny little evil ashes in the windmill. That's like my favorite scene. I love that scene. All right. Army of Darkness, you know what I'm talking about?
It's been ages since I've
Army
watched
of Darkness.
that. I'm familiar, but Yeah.
You need to correct that issue.
I know that's what I hear. Okay. Let's see. All right. So yeah.
Eric's back there hacking the Matrix. I'm sitting here with sunglasses on, like, yep.
Yeah.
I need my muscles hurt. And Eric's like, yep, okay, yep, okay, I'm hacking the Matrix. Okay, here we go.
Exactly. That's what I've been doing. Or at least it feels like it.
I got a hot day. Bucks game is 0-0, Ryan. Shh. God, relax. Lex, I need you. Lex, I need you to just keep updating me. Like in live chat. Like live chat this game in chat for me so I know.
Oh, goodness.
And then we'll be good. John Klein says never seen any of the Evil Dead films. John, you need to correct that issue. You need to button it up.
Yeah.
John, you're always trying to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that. And sometimes journeys take as long as they take, brother.
Mm-hmm. How many of them are there? Like 4?
There's 3.
3? Okay. Because one's a remake, isn't it? Like one of them is?
Yeah, Evil Dead. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. So Evil Dead 1 and 2. So Evil Dead 2 is a remake kind of Evil Dead 1, except kind of not, because different things happen and stuff. But Evil Dead 2 goes straight into Army of Darkness. And then they have Ash versus Evil Dead. And they have other stuff. I haven't even actually seen that. So, I mean, I need to correct that problem.
I've seen some of the TV show, I think, that they did. Because Farmer Greg is really into that series, and he would have that on occasionally. And I enjoyed it. I remember playing the video game for PlayStation 2, and you'd walk around with a boomstick, as they call it, and then you would talk garbage to like all these zombies. And my mom walked by, and I think she heard the line, "Is that your head, or did your neck throw up?" And she thought that was the funniest thing. She thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
And she'd run that at me all the time. "Is that your face, or did your neck throw up?" I'm like, "Mom, it's my birthday."
One of my favorite lines.
Goodness.
One of my favorite lines from that series is from Army of Darkness, where he shows up and he's like, all of a sudden, like, once he shows off he's a badass, this woman's like, "Oh, you're the one that can protect us and take us to the magic book and like the Necronomicon and stuff." I love he's just sitting back and he's eating grapes out of a bowl, and he looks there and he goes, "First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me."
Yeah,
blow. And he like throws up like grape. For some reason that line's like my favorite.
You do know that line is on our Of the Clan MacLeod record, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's a
I was kind of sharing it with you and the audience at the same time.
Nice. I like that.
You're gonna break kayfabe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fine. Just don't break kayfabe.
I just want to remind that, or put that out there into the world. Well,
John says Eric has to risk everything and add a Bucks little ticker at the bottom. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, I don't know if we can do it.
M says you need some mentoring because you got these knowledge gaps. I mean, I feel like that's a call out right there. Your boy M.
Hey,
your boy M said you need some mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried the best I can, M. I've tried the best I can. You know what I'm saying? I tried the best I can with the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's come a long way. I mean, he saw There Will Be Blood. That was legit.
I did.
And here comes Shannon, your wife, in the comments, dropping some more music knowledge.
Oh yeah,
about where that quote was.
It was in Mr. Personality by Gillette. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's talking about the neck throw up thing. That's right. I had to like play the whole song in my head just then. That's why I paused. But that is also in that as well. Did you know that I used to get the MC Hammer lyrics where he goes, he says, "Music hits me so hard." Ryan, I thought he used to say, "Music makes me so hard." So all the times I've been singing it.
Oh my God. I mean, never forget that, like, that we got like dead ass betrayed by LL Cool J though.
Oh yeah, deepest bluest.
Like on that, my hand is like a shark fin, and then we found out the lyric was "My hat is like a shark fin."
Yeah,
and him and I were running around because him and I both had me and Eric both had a big problems with liking Deep Blue Sea way too much, and then also singing that song way too much. And we used to bond over that shit. And so we roll up on each other like with our hand above our head this. Like be like my hand is like a shark fin, and like run to each other and shit. And then we're like, oh, let's watch that video, and the captions were on.
Yeah, yeah.
And that shouldn't have happened.
The captions
because it says my hat is like a shark fin, and Eric and I were like, what? And then we're like, that makes so much less sense than my hand is like a shark fin.
It does. It absolutely does.
Like the only way I think you can get there and I think I illustrated this at the time, was if you take your hat, your New Era, that 5950, quality,
right? Yeah.
You go ahead and you drop them in, you know what I'm saying, and you run one of these, you know what I'm saying, like you might be able to like, you know what I'm saying, like right. That's the old like. They call that kind of like I don't know. This is a rally cap of some sort. Some people do rally cap like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you run like,
right.
My hat is like a shark fin. You know what I'm saying? And you're good to go. But like you don't. I mean, some people do rally cap by like turn their hat inside out, and right. That means you don't give a shit about your hat. I hate to tell you that, but that's hat crime.
That
you don't deserve to have a hat if you do that.
That's hat crime. Jesus. Well, all right, guys. Well, we're about to wrap on up and get into Paul Calico with good old Spaghetti Johnson. Yep, always, never ends, never ceases. It's always on. So yeah, we're gonna jump on over to the Prime side, but we will see y'all in about 5 minutes or something. So stick around and
just a roundabouts.
Keep hollering us in the chat, and we got some news. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So thanks for joining us, and see you on the Prime side.
Yeah.
Greetings and welcome,
Bow.
everyone.
Bow,
It's your
bow,
boys.
bow, bow.
It's your boy Easy.
It's your boy Ryan.
And you're listening to Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only community-supported podcast. What YouTube channel, fan thing, just nerd stuff, everything dedicated to the ongoing journey of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the way from the beginning until your boy moves to WikiWatchy, becomes a cast member of the Mermaid Show there, and is an integral part of the opening song, Ryan, which bear in mind the performance entirely will be The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, that version. However, the first thing, which is the only real thing I care about, is the first song, which is Lee Greenwood's Proud to Be an American.
Ah, yes.
Done by mermaids underwater with an American flag underwater. The show will stop as soon as I do that. Like that's how you'll know that the show is ending, when you're like, oh, Eric's moving to WikiWatchy. Oh, he's got that mermaid
it's
suit.
a good thing that you don't know how to swim, so that helps the show survive that problem.
Absolutely,
at least for a little while.
just for a little bit,
at least for a tad,
right?
Just for a little bit,
just for a tad. But in the meantime, we are here live on YouTube, and be sure to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out tremendously, and we sincerely appreciate that. And and if you're new here, welcome. We've got tons of stuff going on. We're going to be putting up more shows from the backlog and all kinds of cool stuff happening. So you want to be here on the YouTube channel and subscribe to not miss any of that. So make sure you do that, and tell everyone else that you know that likes Ninja Turtle stuff that there are these two dudes that talk on the internet every Thursday, usually every Thursday, until one of them has a panic attack. But then they pick back up the next week, rest assured, because you can count on us. That's what we told you. That's what the Turtles told us.
That's what we told you.
And that's right. That's what we do. So there you go. But, the group of people that we can always count on are our wonderful patrons. And they are the lifeblood, the life force, the alpha and omega to our podcast and our show and YouTube channel, everything we do. And it's a collective of people. And if you would like to join, you can check in the description and all that fun stuff. There's ways to get there. But for those that are there, especially this week, Ryan, I just want to shout out two special patrons, and that's John Clemens and Melissa O'Donnell Hall. Thank y'all so very much.
Yep.
Because without y'all's support, we'd be saying clang and we'd be in some electronic seaweed. And as weird as that sounds, it's probably not good. And I'm glad we're here with y'all this lovely Thursday evening. So thanks again. And this one's for y'all. So Ryan Guy, where are we at in the journey today?
Turtle Soup hath returneth to the 4th episode of the 10th and final season of the 1987 animated series Turtle in Time.
Turtle in Time.
Not Turtles.
No.
Search that on Google.
Search it.
Saying?
Yeah.
Turns
have
out
fun.
You get a lot of things about a video game, and then you're like, wait, a Turtle in Time?
Yeah.
That's that 4th episode. You know what I'm saying? It is the second part of the trilogy, the 3-part epic that's in this 10th season, and we're going to be diving all into that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a whole thing. Speaking of the animated series, you could win.
Oh yeah,
my copy.
I forgot about this.
It is right here. I've got it right here.
What?
It's right here. I'm gonna put it in front of my own head.
In the box.
I'm gonna narrate under in the box, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's all back in there.
Wow.
Now, I'm gonna put the 10th season back in there. You know what I'm done. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get shortchanged, but. You can win my own very copy of the full 1987 animated series on DVD, glorious DVD, in a glorious party wagon, by entering our contest. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you do it. It's really easy. Go and subscribe on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Turtle Soup podcast. We're up on YouTube. That gets you an entry. It's like a big raffle. So I get you one ticket. You know what I'm saying? If you comment on a video, you get another entry. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 tickets.
That's 2. It's 2 tickets.
Our patrons, our family, they get an extra ticket. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be subscribed on YouTube, even if you're family. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on there. You know what I'm saying? And then the 4th way to get a ticket is going to be with our own Turtles Come Out and Fight That email contest that we are still working on the rules out for. So right now, that's not available. but we will announce that when it happens, and you'll be able to get a 4th entry by entering that email contest as well. So right now you can get 3 tickets straight up. When the animated series is over and we're done reviewing it, we're gonna throw it all into a magic machine, and we're gonna put all the entries in there, and we're gonna pop one out, and you're gonna get this bad boy shipped to your domicile. You know what I'm saying? Courtesy of Turtle Soup. It's near and dear to my heart, and I want to make sure it goes to a good home. So go do the things. Like I said, you got to be a subscriber on YouTube, and then go do the other stuff. Comment if you're a patron, get another entry, and then we'll work on that email contest, and you can win this bad boy right here. You know what I'm saying? And it comes at a personal cost to your boy. I am. I've blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? Literally tears. I'm like, I cannot believe this is a 56 episode season. Like, oh god, I gotta put another one in. You know what I'm saying? That's all right in this. So,
man,
subscribe and enter to win the awesomeness.
I'm so proud that you still have the box. Like, and it like that, I'm just so proud because like
I told you. Bro.
No, I knew you did, but like it's still just neat to see. Like it's always because I don't think I have the box to mine still, which is rare for me because I usually keep all my boxes.
I probably wouldn't have kept the box if we weren't going to give it away.
Right, but like, still.
But like, still, no, it's in here. It's got all of its packaging. All of it's like little plastic stuff that like held it in place so it'll ship well and it'll be safe and stuff.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited to see it go to a lovely home. So please do become a subscriber and do the other things to get your entry.
Indeed. And John Klein in the chat was asking if it's going to be signed, and now that will be left up to whoever the winner is. We will get in contact with you, and we will ask you if you want us to sign it. We're not going to be offended one way or the other. It's not going to be a detriment to our ego, because I'm generally one that doesn't care for signed things, but I totally get that people do like that, and that's a awesome. It's cool. Whatever, either way you want to do it.
Yes.
So that's how it'll be.
M in the chat saying he has the box, which is a JHS pedal show joke, which I super appreciate. I do have the box. I have the box. Yeah, I don't have a problem. It's fine. And like Eric said, we'll kind of sign whatever. We kind of laid this out in our heads. We're like, well, that's gonna be up to the winner because and we'll sign it kind of anywhere. If you want like the party wagon signed, we'll sign that. If you want like the outer box signed, like on the clear plastic or somewhere else in the box, whatever color Sharpie you're looking for, we'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? It's our pleasure.
It is. It is. We're very accommodating.
So, oh my God, I'm glad John hit us up with that question. That's legit. So moving forward, there has been some big news, and the news segment has gotten even bigger with the passing week. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple things in there that now we can sink our teeth into. So are you ready to hop into this news situation?
I think so. Let's hop in. All right. News.
Do or do not. There is no try.
There is no try.
And
no.
Try not to get excited about our lead news story this even. Usagi Yojimbo. You know what I'm saying?
Usagi Yojimbo. Oh my goodness, Ryan. Goodness. Baby. So
I know he's near and dear to your heart. I know that sometimes it's been a struggle for you. I know
it has
been. You've been after it. You've loved and lost.
Yes. Yes.
So
preach. Amen.
Big time NECA announcement.
Yes. So NECA reached a deal with Stan Sakai, and they basically have agreed to been allowed to make a figure of Usagi Yojimbo, and I am uber excited about this. Like I can't even find the words really. It's beyond me because this. Usagi Yojimbo has been so near and dear to my heart, and I've always appreciated him even as like a child, like the figure and everything. And I don't recall his appearances in the animated series until we did it on the show, but like I definitely knew the toy. And Yeah. So they teased us a little bit. They told us what the text on the post was that basically they've reached the deal with Stan, and that they're going to be putting this figure out. So let's see if we can get the TV on real quick and give you break you off a little piece of that Usagi Yojimbo. There you go. What about that? Now that is a work in progress.
For a 3D render for you.
Ooh, like it. It's one of those things that you don't like. You remember? I don't want to sexualize this by any means, but you know how
okay,
see that guy?
Yeah, all right.
But you know how like they said that on soda machine, like vending machines, they would have the Coke bottle, like you would see all the bubbles and the ice and everything in it, and how it was the shape of a woman, or the curves were supposed to be like evocative of that. There's something maybe not as like carnal in that here, but like the proportions of this figure are doing something like it's just that's the Usagi Yojimbo I've always wanted, because I don't think we've ever gotten the perfect one, Ryan. Like by any means. No. I think we've come close, but
there's always different interpretations, but they do move away from like Stan Sakai's like kind of like version.
Right. Now, for those who need a refresher, this is how he looked in the animated series. And it's not that far off from what Neca's going to be doing. I'm going to see if I can go back and forth to that. Like that's pretty close. But I love Neca's proportions a lot better than the animated series proportions, even though they're not terrible.
And to be honest, the animated series didn't go far off from Stan Sakai's like design of Usagi Yojimbo. So I mean, like you're pretty close right there.
Yeah, there's like a chibbiness to him in Stan's version that is I'm endeared to it. That the animated series kind of shied away from a little bit, understandably so. But sure. Yeah, with NECA's rendering, that it looks like they're gonna lean into it at least enough to where like I'm very satisfied with it so far. Yeah. Now, we've gotten some other iterations of Usagi Yojimbo. So, we've gotten the Space Usagi, that's just why. Yeah. Like I remember as a kid being like, I don't understand why he's in space and how his ears are okay outside of the helmet. Like I had a lot of questions at that age about the practicality.
Wrong with
but like I love it still.
Yeah.
But like yeah, he's a little much. But it's
got one of the more animated faces.
Definitely.
Like it's there. The face has got a lot of sculpt to it. But yeah.
And I think my favorite thing is if you look up on the top left corner of the screen of the box, Usagi has a carrot gun.
Yes.
And that's like
yes.
I think that should be standard issue with all Rabbit action figures. But
I totally agree.
But then when he's not the blast off bunny, he is just your average traveling Ronin Usagi Yojimbo samurai. I get my Japanese words of that warrior mixed up a little bit, but yeah. And so these are probably
a Ronin is a samurai without a master.
Without a master, right? So, but yeah. And I think that's what he is, but I could be mistaken. It's been a minute since I've read Usagi, but still, these were my two favorite figures that were ever produced of him. That I had the original Playmates one on the left, but the
03 is
the 03. That one had all the chibi like attributes to it that I loved, but the articulation was just horrendous. Because he's stuck like that. Like he could turn at his waist, but like, and I think his arms.
He has no like shoulder articulation.
No, that is how he is stuck. And yeah, that's
damn near a statue right there, dog.
It is, and it's not in a great pose. And that is, unfortunately, that's where a lot of really good sculpts fell victim to back in the day. Was the curse of or the plight of being a toy and needing an action feature that the sculpt and articulation suffered. And so that was one of my my biggest regrets, that I never was able to purchase that, because I loved that look. But at the same time, it helped to alleviate that pain, knowing that like, you really couldn't do much with him other than that. And so I am like, eagerly anticipating this figure. Now, I'm curious how they're going to do it because NECA, as far as I know, right now they have the rights to the video games, the animated series, and the Mirage, the comics. And so we know he appeared in the animated series. We know he appeared in the comics. I don't think he appeared in a video game unless he was like a background character, but even then I don't think that happened. I could be mistaken. Let us know in the comments or email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. But like that makes me think that this is gonna either be his animated version or his or a comics version of him. And I mean, I'm here for both, but I think that this is leaning more towards the comics version.
That looks very close to the animated series version of him.
Yeah.
The way that the outfit is and stuff.
That's true.
I love the head and like the face. Like that just looks. I just like him looking like that instead of needing to be like,
instead of like grinning and like showing his teeth.
Would really dish out. I think it's exciting. I think it looks like he has a lot of cool articulation too, which is kind of nice. The legs might be a little weird because of just the way that the pants kind of work on him,
right?
But the arms look awesome. And I don't know, man. I'm pretty hyped. Like
I am super hyped, and I would love
for a 3D render. It looks fantastic.
And hopefully they can keep this deal with Stan and keep producing some of these figures. Because I remember that 2003 had, I think a character, I think it was Gen or Jin. I think it was Gen. He was like if I'm not mistaken, this is off the dome on the mic live. I think he was a rhinoceros type character. And I never saw him in person either. And I'm like, man, I would have loved that. And having read a little bit of Usagi, like I'd love to have all these characters because they look so cool. And so I'm right there with you. I'm like eagerly anticipating this and cannot wait to get my hands on this. So but moving on into some other news, talking about things that I can absolutely wait not to own. We got some news that this week confirming some things we'd heard. That there would be a partnership between Cobra Kai and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles via Playmates. Mm-hmm. And we now have images of that. Are you ready, Ryan? Here we go.
Yes. Maybe
so,
not.
Here is Michelangelo with Daniel LaRusso from Cobra Kai. And, this is the in-package shot that we're seeing right now.
I saw this come across my feed and I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay. First of all, I mean, is there a reason that I don't know of that Mikey has like a black bandana, but like in black, like elbow and knee guards, but like has orange
on his wrists? I think just so you know that it's Michelangelo. I think that's the only reason why. But then why isn't the rest of his stuff? But I guess that's...
Is he supposed to be like the bad guy situation?
You know, I wish I could tell you.
Like in the Cobra Kai school kind of thing?
That's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking.
There is no fear in this dojo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the look they're going for.
Right. I think that's what it is. Now, for those listening, the box art doesn't look bad, actually. The box art is I prefer the imagery they're using for the turtles than what they've been using. No discredit to that artist. It's fine. It's just it's not my taste because but it's yellow and black, and I think that looks kind of cool. It's a little garish, some of the stuff, but like it's not the worst thing I've seen, I don't think, but I think I'm also just trying to bright side this, so I'm not just like
I mean the yellow and black. I mean that's kind of the Cobra Kai, like that's kind of like the properties, like color
branding
and stuff.
Yeah,
so, I mean it's gotta be branded that way.
Now, have you seen the show at all?
No, I have not.
I have not either. I've heard good things.
I had that, right. That's right up there, like Ted Lasso and all these other shows. And people say you gotta watch it. And I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever do that.
Yeah.
But
right. I'm right there with you. But I did hear good things, and then this is also
I heard good things about it too.
This is also, and I love the Karate Kid, the original ones that I saw. Yeah, those were fantastic. And I love the idea of this. The idea that, like, let's make a TV show about it. What was it? A trilogy of movies that were back in the 80s and early 90s, I think. And then, like 10, 15, 20 years later, just like, oh, let's make a show continuing that.
Now.
I do appreciate that idea. I've never watched it, though. But mixing it with the Turtles, like, this seems very forced. And the Turtles themselves.
Well, the martial arts, the martial arts connection is there.
It's there, and they're 80s properties, technically.
So I don't think that mixing Cobra Kai or Karate Kid and the Turtles is like the worst thing in the world. It's a pretty good idea, especially if you have access to both IPs.
Yeah.
But and I understand that you might be going out on a leg a little bit here, so going about a bit of a limb. So you're like, well, we're not going to put like the most money into sculpting or the most money into, you know what I mean? Like we're going to kind of like, run this up the flagpole and see where it goes.
Well, let's talk about that, because and now if you're thinking to yourself as you're watching this, I feel like I've seen these sculpts before. That's because these are the same sculpts that have been around for maybe like 5+ years, if not more than that. Which were the Playmates Classics versions of these Turtles, which are currently being reissued in a 2-pack with I forget, Bebop and Rocksteady, and Shredder I think is coming in 1 too. Oh, and the Triceraton. So that's how they're reissuing these now. But those figures are super old. Those sculpts are super old. And they're the ones with the articulated fingers, and almost every single Donatello that they produced had messed up eyes. So that should ring a bell.
That takes me back to Turtle Soup Origins.
Oh, yeah,
that was some of our first figure reviews we did way back in the day. Was those? Those are old because our show's old. So
yeah, it is.
Wow.
And so these are those same sculpts, if I'm not mistaken, from what I can tell, and given Playmates like proclivity to stick with what they know and stuff, and usually to good, for good reason, but I think that like they're just really milking them sculpts, and I'm okay with the classics versions of the Turtles the way they are. I think they're okay. I don't like the finger articulation, but everything else it's okay. It's not the best, but for $20, and I mean, there's been worse figures, but nevertheless, I would love to have seen some new sculpting and some new things here. But literally, it's that sculpt. Like you said, the black bandanas, except for the orange wrist bands. And then they have what appears to be a soft goods gi on the Turtles.
Yeah.
And that's here. Let's see, Leonardo here. So yeah, that's pretty much all they did to the Turtles. And it looks like they've whited out their pupils. And which is usually,
if they're having problems dotting the I's, then I guess that'd be a great way to go about it.
That'll get rid of it right there. But and generally that makes them look cooler. I don't know that the pupilless versions of the Turtles look great with these sculpts, but it's probably better than having wonky eyes. Now that being said, I want to talk about these Cobra Kai figures. Now, I think we get Daniel LaRusso, and we're looking at Miguel Diaz here.
Diaz.
And can you see right here where the mouse is at, Ryan? His forearm where it meets the wrist. I don't know how good you can see that.
That's just called a cylinder. That's just. I learned that shape in the early grades. That is a cylinder.
That is a cylinder. You might have seen it like on your pencils when you need a pencil grip, like the smooth one.
You may have almost expected this guy to have like some kind of action feature, like I can launch my hand.
I was just gonna say that. Do
you know what I mean? Because
it looks like an arm cannon.
You would pull like behind the elbow, there'd be a hole. And
right.
It's that thing where you pull the fist is connected to like the shaft of plastic, and you pull that back on a spring inside that tube,
and then it launches.
And let it go. It's like catch these hands. You know what I mean? Like one of those numbers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
I don't know. I mean, he's also posed in box. He looks like a drunk guy who's kind of gonna fight you, but probably won't because he's too drunk.
He totally does.
Like that's at least the pose. He gets that kind of like, come on, bro.
Right.
Hey, bro. And all his friends are like, God damn, let's get this guy home. Like that's what we're looking like.
That's what we're looking at. And it doesn't get any better when you go to Johnny Lawrence. Now, the arms. This is just horrible. Like somebody greenlit this, dude. Like somebody said, yeah.
I take back everything I said about the NECA April's knees and the knee connections.
Right.
I take it all back. This, if those look like prosthetic legs, this looks like, I don't even know what this looks like.
Yeah. I think we hit the nail on the head.
Really rough.
It looks like an arm cannon. Like that's exactly what that looks like.
No, it does. It does. And it's really unfortunate. And it didn't really have to be that way.
Right.
You know, now, I don't make toys. I'm not a toy scientist. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like it feels like why? And the only thing I could think is you're looking at an item that MSRP is at what, 20?
It's 40 for the 2-pack. So yeah,
40 for the 2-pack. Yeah.
Yeah. So 20.
Oh God, $40.
Yeah, for a figure, Turtles figure that's been reissued multiple times and is old as hell, with repaints and a really half-assed cloth goods gi, and then these pasty dudes.
You don't really get the value out of like the new version. I guess one thing you could say, and it sucks, you have to go and buy all the Cobra Kai guys too.
Mm-hmm.
If you were the turtle toy fanatic that has to have everything. You know, you could say, oh, these are kind of cool variants of those old classics. You know what I mean? Like that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
When those classics came out, we were hype. I mean, like it was nice to see a new sculpt. I mean, of course that was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But you know, I could see being like, oh, I like the blackout look, you know, the black bandana, you know, that's kind of cool. But like, you also got to get kid drunk fight with it, you know. Like I don't know. Yeah, it.
And the thing
it's so funny. I keep getting stuck between like, is this a hot takes pod? Or because I feel like in our hearts we're like, well, hey, look, like, you know, people work on this stuff and we respect the work, and I think that should always go kind of like unsaid, like unspoken, like I'm not an action figure scientist, so like if I made you an action figure of Johnny Lawrence, it would not just have cylindrical forearms, it would probably look like it came out of a dog. So you know what I mean? So like, I get that.
I totally get it.
But like at the same time, what inspires you for this? Unless you are a massive Cobra Kai fan and just happen to also be a massive Turtles fan, and you haven't had accessibility to these sculpts yet.
Which I can totally see. I can totally see that being a bet that they're willing to take, because you know you have the Turtles, which are evergreen, and you have this show that people really like a lot, and at the very least you can say you can get the hero and the antagonists to the Karate Kid in action figure form. Now I will say that Dan, I don't know if he goes by Dan now. In the show, I haven't watched it, but he probably goes by Dan now.
He does go by Dan now.
Now him with his gi, his arms look a lot better, and he's probably the best looking out of them all as far as the human figures. The one thing though that I will say will probably save these figures are if the human sculpts are not shiny like the Turtles appear to be, because if it's more of a matte color or finish to them, that might help keep them from looking like cheap, if you know what I'm saying. But unfortunately, those arm cannons, that's not doing anybody any favors. So lastly we get John Kreese with Raphael, and that's the Cobra Kai stuff. Now, like, you know, we got some people in the chat talking about like how good it is and how much they enjoy the show, and that's cool. And I'm all for it. And I love this. And like you said, like we would love to love these things. Like I would love to be like, yeah, I guess I'm going to be buying Cobra Kai stuff because these turtles look awesome. But unfortunately, I'm just not there. Like the best thing I can say about this is that the art on the box looks pretty cool. And so, yeah, that's really unfortunate. And given that Playmates has the pedigree of being a figurehead, pardon the pun, but like an action figure making, like, because they set a lot of bars for like detail and sculpting and like cool stuff that they did. And now it just seems like they're being a little bit lazy. And I don't mean to like rip on them, but like, y'all know, it's like, we know you can do better. We know you can. And we would love to see that. And I would love to give them my money. But this just doesn't get it for me, Ryan. So I'm just, even with the choking hazard warning on there, you know, like even with that, like I'm still,
that's
I
important.
It is.
Yeah, I guess I worry, you know, about Playmates being, you know, a bigger company, and having to really, like, you know, make their bones kind of off of the mass market stuff. You know, got to move units versus,
right.
you know, NECA with a lot of the pre-order tactics and a little bit more of the adult collectible in mind. Maybe, you know, Playmates got a little hurt by the pandemic more than NECA did in their ability to turn and burn, you know, and they're having to make a lot of a lot of choices with a limited playbook. There's something I do, if I, you know, new drinking it a little bit, there's something I really do like about the blackout kind of weapons the turtles have. I think that, like, in particular, like Raph's like blacked out size look kind of cool.
It does.
And the blacked out Ninjatos look great too. And once again, it makes you think, like, well, if you would have put, you know, if you would have had 2 box sets with, like, you know, 2 turtles a piece, maybe that's not so hard to swallow. $80, get all 4 turtles, get classics with a paint alteration.
Yeah.
You take the geese off them if you want, it's fine. And then you have your blacked out weapons, and that's kind of cool, right? Like you can maybe just, you know, black out the colored wristbands and yourself and be like, yep, blacked out turtles. Like that's cool to me.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're actually going to drop 160 to get all that. Plus you got 4 Cobra Kai figures with cannon arms. And you're left holding the bag. I just don't know, when you're not bringing something new to the table enough. Now, if these were, say, brand new turtle sculpts, that your adult collectors are kind of like, well, okay, so I guess I'm gonna get this and go ahead and get the Cobra Kai guys. I guess so. If you're not bringing something to the table like that, I just don't know what how Playmates expected this to ship.
Right. Unless,
you know what I'm trying to say. I don't know who this is targeted at, because a lot of Cobra Kai viewers are adults that are watching it kind of for the nostalgia factor. I'm not saying kids can't be watching Cobra Kai as well, but like the bulk of your audience is your adult, and you're aiming at adult collectibles, but you're going to give us the old sculpts of the turtles, and you're going to give us kind of some subpar human sculpts while you're at it.
Yeah. Like it just
like it's a no for me, dog. You know
yeah, I get it. I think they're really hedging their bets on the hype of Cobra Kai and the nostalgia of the turtles, and that people will buy this. Like they will, like, because there's turtle fans, and that's good. And if you do and you like these, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. I wish that I could be like these.
I'd love to love it.
Yeah, but like, yeah. So I really do think that that's their angle that they're going for. And from a business perspective, I get it, but I'm also a little let down as the fact, like we mentioned, that they are the ones that capture our imagination as children, and in ways that Mattel had done it before, but various, but they took it and made it even better. And then like now to see them kind of just like rest on like just these sculpts that aren't the worst thing, but we've seen them so many times, and knowing that they could do so much better. And I would just like to see a little bit more effort. And honestly, if there had been new turtle sculpts and they had put some effort into these figures, the human figures, I might have bought these, because
and maybe, you know, to kind of like zoom out a little bit to close this segment out, maybe the idea is maybe we're too zoomed in. Okay. We're looking at this like, oh man, this is that hot shit from Playmates. You know what I mean? Like we're looking at this like kind of like under a microscope. But potentially, if you look at Playmates' larger strategy, this may have been like, okay, cool, we're going to do the Cobra Kai tie-in. Great. We're going to get these Cobra Kai figures. Fantastic. We're going to use these old sculpts, black them out. Sweet. Put them in a box. Let's do it. Next order of business. You know what I mean? That could have literally been the strategy. Could have been like, let's get them out there. Let's see if it ships. Let's see if hey, you know, if these old sculpts sell, then maybe we'll make some new stuff with Cobra Kai, and maybe we'll keep it going. You know what I mean? Maybe we're so zoomed in, like we're going, what's Playmates' game here?
Right.
But maybe this is part of a bigger thing, and we're just seeing like a way to like diversify the portfolio a little
Right.
bit. Maybe they know they're not. When you zoom in too much, you might think that Playmates is swinging for the fences with this. And if that's the case, we're looking at this like this is not you just don't get it, basically. Like, this is not going to get out of the park. Like we're not doing this.
No.
But zooming out, if you go, all right, cool. Like you wouldn't throw Bandai under the bus for some of the awful Power Rangers figures they made, like, right?
Well, more or less.
Like when you zoom out on Bandai, like you realize that Bandai's still like legit. Like you don't throw them out with the bathwater, do you?
Kind of, only because it's different because they haven't set a precedent in America necessarily to show that they have since done this. Since the Power Rangers, the Legacy collection, I think is what it was. Those figures, they were okay. They were I on my Easy Opens YouTube channel that I used to do. I would talk highly of them because that's all we had. And then Hasbro comes in with the Lightning collection and shows you like, well, this is what we can do for $20 compared to what. But we also know that Bandai could do a hell of a lot better because they've done all kinds of things in Japan. And it's like they dumbed it down for America, which I understand to a degree. But at the same time, like when Playmates started out the gate and like with amazing sculpts and detail and all this cool selection and all this cool stuff, and then now it just seems like they're kind of taking a lazy route with all this stuff. That's where the rub is with Bandai. I felt like once they realized that, oh, we got to step up our game, then I think they started doing that with some of their other lines that aren't Power Rangers anymore because they don't have the license. But other things they've done since has been an improvement on those figures. Yeah. And so I wish that Playmates would take a similar route. But nevertheless, this is where we are. So if you like these and you want to get them, they're coming out. I think they're coming out this year. They're going to be Walmart exclusive, and again, they're going to be $40 a piece for the 2-packs. So there you go. So that's up there for all you Cobra Kai fans to take a bite out of. I don't know why you're biting it. I don't know where that came from, but anyway.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Like, I guess it's because they're a crime, Ryan. If they're a crying, no, it doesn't work either. Anyway, well, speaking about things that are a crying shame, you ready for this next?
Yes, we're gonna round it up. We're gonna round it off here with. Right.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
Today's announcement, September the 9th, 2021. The official announcement from the Mirage Group, stating the end of the Mirage Studios, effectively. Mirage Studios, Mirage Licensing, Mirage Publishing, and Mirage Management are all officially dissolved as of now. Today is the 9th. eBay and other sales through the site will continue until the 19th of September, and then that'll be done. So this announcement came out today. It caught a lot of people off guard. I saw various kind of levels of shock or disappointment with the announcement, kind of depending on, I think, how much you kind of like knew about what was going on with Mirage. And the statement kind of lays it out that, in 2009, so this was just a few years before we got the 2012 animated series by Nickelodeon, Viacom. All of those Viacom Nickelodeon purchased the rights to the TMNT from Mirage. Okay. And the minute that started happening, Mirage started winding down business.
Yeah.
There were some hopes that because in the deal with Viacom, Mirage reserved the right to print 18 comics a year with the TMNT name. That's part of the deal that they made. Right. A lot of people were hoping for a volume 4 out of Mirage, that Laird would pull that out. I believe it's volume 4.
Probably. I think it's volume 5. Yeah.
Really?
Well, technically, because if Image is volume 3, then Mirage came back for volume 4, but that's if you count Image as Mirage's volume.
I think they're looking for a
So-
continued Volume 4.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Let me
That's probably what you
clarify.
meant. Yeah,
a continuing of Mirage Volume 4 from Laird.
Okay.
Now, while people were hoping this was happening, the odds of it were already looking slim. Because you got to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
And think about the fact that so Peter Laird is 67 years old. I know it's going to make a lot of us feel even older. But he's 67. He has a thing called the Zarek Foundation that he works with. Around the time that Kevin Eastman launched or took over and kind of worked with his old Tundra Comics thing, Laird founded the Zarek Foundation, and his whole thing was like he just wanted to get donations in to donate to people to publish their own comics.
Right.
So Kevin wanted to like publish people's comics in a very like kind of almost like a modern like Image Comics way. Very creator centric, very creator rights focused publishing.
Right.
Laird kind of was like, I don't really want the headache of publishing people's comics. I want to give them a bunch of money to publish their comics. Okay, that's what Laird's been chiefly kind of working with throughout this whole time. Now we know because we've had Turtletarians kind of like inside the Mirage, at least assisting Mirage with selling some of their assets on eBay and through the website, as well as a lot of Turtletarians that took advantage of those sales. My take on this is I think Eric shares this point. We discussed a little before the show. We all kind of knew this day was coming if you had your ear to the ground with Mirage.
Right.
Now the website will not be updated, but it will be maintained. So all the information they have on there, including like how to all the one thing I love the asset they have is a ways to authenticate TMNT number ones.
Oh,
There's
that's
like a
awesome.
whole like a counterfeits guide kind of thing. Like, well, here's how we did it, and this is from the source. This is from the guys who made it. So if you're looking to buy a number one and it's not already CGC graded or sealed by another third party company and it's open, you can kind of like go through the guide.
Right.
It has a lot of really cool historical stuff about the TMNT comics that were printed by Mirage. Okay, that's still going to be around, but the actual publishing from Mirage is over. I kind of liken it to like when someone has like a long, kind of like a long terminal disease, you get used to the idea of them being gone. And when they actually go, it's kind of like that's the finality of it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to imply that Mirage had some disease, but they were shutting down.
But they are shutting down.
That was what was happening. That was the party line the whole time.
Right.
So, my conclusion is, sad to see the day happen. It's a historic day. It doesn't mean that something couldn't happen in the future with it, right? I mean, doors are always kind of open. And it's definitely a chapter, a closing that we all need to recognize.
Definitely.
At the same time, Peter and all the guys at Mirage have put so much work into Mirage and keeping Mirage up and stable for the whole time that they've been winding down. So we're really lucky that they were able to like sell off so much stuff to so many fans and give them an opportunity to own those things and not just like literally shutter the doors and throw all the crap away. That they actually worked with people to try to do things the right way. So I want to give a big honestly a congratulations to Peter Laird for staying aboard the ship. You know what I'm saying? Making sure it goes right. Peter and everybody at Mirage that stayed with Mirage through the last days of it. And I really want to commend them for their work and their careers and for doing it the right way. So I'd say it's time to knock one back for Mirage and there's so much stuff they made to enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And you still can.
And it's nice.
So that's kind of my take on it.
It's nice to know that they kind of went out like more or less on their own terms. Like they got to have a say in how they did their own like eulogy in a sense. And yeah, there's something to definitely be said about that. And but it is very sad to kind of like, even though they haven't been as ubiquitous as the Turtles themselves have been in the last 10-15 years, as much as they were back when they started. It was still nice to know that they were still there, and it was just something. It was one of those comforting things, and so it is going to be a little strange to go on without that, knowing that that's no longer a thing. But that's the part of anything that lives, is that one day it'll die or go away at the very least, and so and transform, become energy, go into because you can't get rid of energy; it just becomes something else, and so that's essentially what they are doing, and. Thankfully, they were able to create this evergreen property that has stood the test of time and managed to blend generally with almost anything that you throw at it. Just work extremely well. And yeah, they have a lot to be proud of for the things that they did with this company. And I don't know. It's one of those things where you're just like, oh man. That it's hard to hear, but that it's they're putting it in good hands. They're putting it in capable hands. So there's that. But so sorry to end it on like kind of a somber the news segment, but I mean,
at the end of the day, it once again it's I think it caught people more off guard because of just like it's actually over. Yeah, like it's actually over now. It's not. It's not like we're not like working on it. Like it's done. It's kind of like I think that caught a lot of people kind of off guard because it was a little random. Like it was like on the 9th of September, and then like the post is dated like September 2021. So you're kind of like, they just decided to post it today. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. At the same time, I think that we should all really be happy. Mirage hadn't been active in a really, really long time, and I mean, you can literally takes you. We could be a testament that it takes you a very long time to work your way through all the stuff they did, because that's become our entire podcasting journey, is literally trying to encompass everything Mirage was involved with, from the front to the back, and still hacking away, guys. So it's all there, and and that's the one thing where they kind of wrap the statement up, saying that even though Mirage is over, the fans and everybody turned the Turtles into something that's always going to be around. So I mean, at the end of the day, mission accomplished. Right? Like, two guys in a one studio, one bedroom studio apartment, make a comic, and here we are. You know what I mean? So mission accomplished for sure.
Oh yeah. So there you go. That's the news. That's the happenings.
That is the news.
That's what's going on in the Turtles. At least
tune in every Thursday for hopefully more news segments live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thursday 8 p.m. Get it.
Go get it. All right.
News.
Well, we'll catch you on the Prime side. Oh, we're back. We're here. We're on the Prime side. Woo.
There wasn't a transition. I didn't know when to stop this.
I know. I hit the wrong button, but that's what we do. That's the beauty of live.
That's what we do. In the chat, we're getting Bucks updates.
Oh goodness, run them.
Bucks were tied at 7, and then now they're up 7. I'm glad about that. So much love in the chat for the
Cobra Kai,
for the Cobra Kai series. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
You gotta watch it.
I don't know. Maybe we do have to watch it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I who knows?
Now it would be amazing. It would be amazing if they ended up doing an actual crossover, live action crossover with the Turtles. Like, if they did that, then we'd have to do it. We'd have to cover it. But that would be insane if that's what those toys were a precursor to. But who knows?
How would they even ever do that? That'd be insane.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm here for it. I mean, if they want to do that, I'd totally watch that.
Yeah,
totally would.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh my God, are you ready? Are you ready for this episode, man?
I think so.
2 weeks in the making.
Yes.
2 weeks in the making, ladies and gentlemen. This review.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I was waiting. I'm like, are we just gonna look at each other? Because I'll do that.
I thought you were going to transition into it. You're not?
Oh, are we gonna? I thought we were
Okay.
doing the two. I thought we were doing the two shot. Maybe
Okay,
I misunderstood.
no, we can run straight into it. We always had a transition between this and like the actual two shot.
Okay.
So we're good. We're good.
Okay,
we're good.
sorry.
We're good.
Sorry.
We're good. We're good. We're good. You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, guys. We got to shake the cobwebs off. Here.
Oh, gotta get them
like
out.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Ready? A turtle in time. You know what I'm saying? This is episode 4 of the 10th and final season of the 1987 animated series from the Turtles. This was aired October 5th, 1996, written by Jeffrey Scott and directed, as all seasons this episode or episodes this season, by Tony Love.
Tony Love.
By way of a little bit of a background, we covered this the first episode of this. This is the middle episode of a 3-part arc in this season. We covered that last episode on episode 263. But just as a little bit of a background, effectively Shredder and Krang are back, baby.
Yep.
Dreg is back. He's trying to figure some stuff out. The Turtles have been cured of their hyper mutations. You know what I'm saying? Like, they done did it. Your boy Carter last episode was like, but I'm not cured. And it turns out they're like, well, we can do it. So they did it, but then he's like, but I'm cured.
Right, yeah. You can't make him happy.
He doesn't know how to feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Splinter's running around giving random advice to people. It's kind of a really blue sky territory in the sewer layer these days. You say something like, when does the fly know when to fly? And Carter goes, I'm going back to college. And like, everyone goes, Carter. And like, no one knows really what's happening. It's but real Carter. Just open, no judgment brainstorming mode is where we're at right now in the layer.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is Shredder and Krang are summoned to Earth by Dreg, who is like, why don't we team up, dog? And they're like, yeah, screw you, loser. And the most punk rock Shredder and Krang ever. You really got to go back and listen to the episode review for last episode 3, because it was amazing.
It was.
Shredder and Krang take no bullshit. They're like,
they take
just
no guff.
Die. It's bad. But they wind up getting recaptured, as do the Turtles, and they're in the Dreadnought. And where we left off last episode, Dreg is like, I tell you what I do. I hook up the 4 Turtles to a machine and suck out their life force and their mutation powers. And then I hook Shredder and Krang up to another machine that takes away their mind powers. And I'm going to put them all in my big dome. He's already got a big dome.
He
does. Know what
I'm
saying? He's got a huge dome already. It's happening. He's like, I'm going to fill all this with all the good stuff. And y'all are going to die because it's also going to suck out your life force. Now, they got April. April's all locked up in a little cage thing, too. She's just got to watch. I don't know why he doesn't want any of April's skills.
Yeah.
He could just put another table out. I mean, I thought about that this weekend. I was like, why wasn't April in there? Like,
he might not want too
April,
much of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That might be a thing. So
very true. So that's where we literally left it. We left it with like, Mung, turn on the brain juicer, and it's like, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we left off. But yeah, a ton more of that in our review. Link should be in the description below to check that out. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
But now we resume. It's a turtle in time. You know what I'm saying? And Shredder is pissed. Shredder is not a happy chappy. It's obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Even with his mask on.
Open up the Dreadnought. Everybody's hooked up to whatever device sucks out whatever Krang wants out of them. It's all, or Dreg wants out of them. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? Krang, sucker, hooked onto the top of the AT-AT Walker bubble. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Yeah. It's gonna suck his brains out anyway.
Yeah, yeah. That was the thing I hated. Is it's like, why didn't you take off Shredder and Krang's stuff and
just break that?
Yeah,
just like break the glass thing and then take Shredder's helmet off. But anyway, it's okay because he's working with technology we can't even fathom.
Yes,
at this point. So right before the process starts, Shredder cuts his brain cable loose. Like the cable goes to his brain. Nobody knows this. You know what I'm saying? But Krang, Krang's still getting zapped, as is everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out at the end of the process, it appears that it's worked. Dreg hops off the table, bragging about how he now possesses the turtles and the Krang's memories and their physical skills. But he's like, wait a minute, I can't. I don't know what Shredder wears for underwear, because he's like searching his mind for what kind of weird videos on the internet is Shredder into.
Right.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he realizes that Shredder cut the thing. He looks over and he's like, "Where's Shredder? Shredder, ninja vanish, just gone. Just gone." So we're trying to figure all this out, and somehow also the turtles and Krang aren't like instantly killed by the life force suck thing, which we're kind of led last episode to believe that like if he actually carried through the process, they would be like burn up like dangle piece of toast. But it turns out they're just really tired.
They're just really tired.
Like, we're just kind of real tired.
Like
it's all good, I guess.
Because you would think that he would like the whole end game would be, I got your stuff, now you're dead, and I don't have to deal with you, and now who can stop me? But this just seems like a very faulty plan.
Yeah, and granted, now the turtles are pretty like drained, and so is Krang. Like they don't really have much fight in them left.
Yeah.
So Mung is ordered to take the turtles and Krang to their cells, I guess just to waste away and die.
Yeah.
The turtles mount a valiant, if not absolutely sluggish, effort to fight free once they're freed.
Right.
But Dreg like easily disarms them, and then also reveals that he possesses each turtle's individual ninja skills, which we see illustrated here with one bow staff in hand, a ninjato in hand, and the turtles just get absolutely destroyed. Which, I mean, they're also like absolutely like probably like 99% like dead right now. But it's not a good day.
No.
So the turtles wind up getting recaptured, and they can feel their life force like slipping away. And Donnie's like basically says, "I don't think we have long to live." And I guess that's how they kind of change the rules a little bit, where it's kind of like they're left with just enough to be around, but like pretty soon they're gonna like fall asleep and never wake up. I think it's kind of like the long game on that.
Yeah.
So April gets really upset. She's got to try to figure a way out of this thing. She starts banging her hands against the cage, like laser cage, like I gotta find a way out of this, which is like pretty gangsta.
Oh yeah.
And she apparently has like no fear that like those lasers are just like cut her hands off or anything. I mean, she's just like, I'm banging on them. I'm like,
yeah, I wouldn't touch those things. No.
And this is when things get real kooky, because Shredder is then illustrated crawling out from under the very table he was just strapped to. Like, so Dreg's like walking around this room, and he's like looking underneath the table, and he's like, I mean, I'll see Shredder, and Shredder's like, ninja cockroach, and he like crawls out from underneath. You know what I'm saying? And like, he gets out and like frees Krang. You know what I'm saying? Scoops Krang up like little baby.
Oh, this is like, beautiful.
Let's do this. So Krang it tells Shredder that he needs a life force infusion. You know what I'm saying? Because I need that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what he needs.
Like I need that old dirty insulin. I need that. And Shredder's like, yeah, no, you really do actually. You're really messed up. So they run away, and they vow to come back and destroy Dreg at a later time. On the way out, Shredder and Krang are confronted by a couple of them Batmans. You know what I'm saying? And Shredder easily dispatches these cats, grabbing what appears to be a small radar dish before fleeing again. And I was like, what's that for?
Yeah.
And it turns out it's kind of for a pretty cool purpose, actually.
It's true.
I gotta give this episode a lot of credit. There's a lot of actual little stuff in here I really like when it comes to like it's some of that common sense stuff that I'm
absolutely.
like, yeah, this is what I need.
And
this is what I need.
And this is again some of the best Shredder and Krang you'll ever see. And we're gonna talk about this at the end, but there's something there.
It's pretty great. So April, whips out TurtleCom, and she tries to give Carter a call. Now I do like this. Like, so her first attempt to call fails because it won't go through, and Donnie's like, yeah, like the hull of the ship is too thick. You got to try a higher frequency. And she tries it, and it does work. And I really like the kind of the attention to thought, like or the
Right.
thought to the process there. Right?
Yeah.
That's the little stuff that like where I go like, oh, really, like you're up like in like low Earth orbit, and you're gonna call on like a radio phone basically, like
Yeah.
you're gonna reach Carter like on the ground, like through the stratosphere and all this stuff. And it turns out, yeah, no, like I buy that the turtles have that technology, and you just turn it up to higher. You know, you basically turn it up to a higher frequency, maybe flip the phase a little bit. You know, Donnie did make them. Flipping the phase usually helps.
Usually,
and
almost
you get
always.
There,
yeah,
which is great. So the call to Carter goes through, and your boy is mega responsible. Like he pulls over before answering the turtle comm.
He does.
Kind of love it. Like,
he does.
He's like, oh, let me be real safe, and does that. And
he took his seat. He took his seatbelt off of his motorcycle too, which was like even more responsible. Like instead of
he really he signaled and pulled over. I mean, I was very impressed.
He did the hand thing, like where they throw the hand down to let him know you're turning left. Or
whatever. He's like, yeah. Oh man. You haven't lived unless you've seen like someone in a vehicle with like no working like blinkers do that in real life. Have you seen that? Like out the window.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
So he gets a hold of April. She explains the situation. He's like, all right, I'll be there as fast as I can. It's kind of hard because I'm like, well, you're on the ground. The Dreadnought's in like low Earth orbit. So like, kind of interesting to see how Carter's gonna, get all the way up there. So Shredder and Krang run into the transport room, and we finally see why Shredder grabbed the small little radar dish. And it's to deflect the damn lasers from the Batman.
It's so good.
And I'm like, that is what's up.
Yeah.
That is what's up. I absolutely love that. I think that is so cool. Such a smart thing. And I love how scared Krang looks. Krang's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. And like, Krang's vulnerable, his life force is all messed up. And then I love this. I love this a lot. And like I said, this episode does a ton of those little attention to detail things that are just really cool. And I've like we've been harping on the entire animated series. Little things like this don't just like take almost no effort to write in and do, but they make the show feel like it respects its universe.
Absolutely.
Like if guys just keep running through lasers, it doesn't like it just after 190 episodes, you're like, okay, like guns don't matter.
Right. Yeah.
But like, if you take a little effort to be like, oh, but like, no, we have to deflect those lasers because they could really mess us up.
They could, and they could easily turn them onto goo guns, and then you're in a whole nother mess. Then
there are so many opportunities in this episode alone. I think though, where like if the Batman turned their guns into goo guns, it would have been way better than lasers.
That's true. That is true.
That's just a theme. Like every time they shoot lasers, I'm like, I don't know, man. If that was a goo gun, that might have been way more effective than just a laser. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Tactical awareness. I don't know. Mung's orders. Who knows?
Who knows?
So before Shredder and Krang get away, Dreg, Mung, and a few Batmen show up, and Dreg spouts forth a Krang head, guys. He just does this.
This is horrifying.
From his huge forehead, and it starts speaking. He starts speaking through it with Krang's voice.
Yeah. Now, do you think that
Not
this is
since that Adventures business where Krang actually got on top of Shredder's head and took over his body, like some kind of like some kind of like puppet? Have I been as terrified of Krang?
Now, do you think that now is this something that we like that the Bugman and Mung and Shredder can see, or is this just for us? Like, is this just to show us what's happening, the audience, or is this for the actual people? Do you think that that's a physical manifestation?
I think this is literally like what happens. I think like it's an actual side effect of him having like done the thing.
So Krang is physically coming out of his brain.
Yeah, he has like a copy of Krang, his whole identity and mind in his head. And for some reason, and I don't know why it manifests like this, like it's something out of like, Total Recall. I don't know why this is happening, but it feels like it's like almost like a very Dreg version of Krang. Like Krang's there, but like, it's a copy of Krang that's like, oh, I'm good being in Dreg's head. Like,
right.
Because this version of Krang is like helping Dreg. Like, talking to him. It's really wild.
It is, but I can see it being
out there. I saw that. I was like, okay, This is kind of insane.
It is, and I could see it being this is just for the audience to realize what's happening, that Krang is speaking through his voice, and that this is not a physical manifestation. But I kind of like that it is.
No.
I kind of like that it's like
I think it's a pure physical manifestation because it's shown many times.
It is,
and you see that like Dreg at this point is like he's closed in concentration, and he's channeling that Krang to speak with Krang's voice.
Right.
But it's like Dreg's words. It's really weird.
I love it,
So then he shows off that since he has Krang's memories, and since Krang is really smart, and he's been around Shredder a lot, given the fact that Krang's kind of a big brain, kind of his whole thing.
Yeah.
That he knows everything Shredder's going to do.
Yeah.
Down to calling Shredder's attempt to jump up and cut open a pipe containing intruder neutralizing gas from a nearby pipe. In real time, he calls it in real time. He's like, then you're going to jump up, and then you're going to try the pipe, but the the intruder neutralizing gas is not in that pipe.
Right.
So that's how that works.
That is awesome. And I
like
love
it.
that.
I like the angle that he's like, you know what? Like, I don't know exactly what you're going to do, but I'll be honest, given that Krang is like an intergalactic warlord, a war criminal, he's genius. I know what you're going to probably do.
Right.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
And then
100%.
Shredder's comeback is amazing. Cause he's like, well, do you know the thoughts of your bat goons, you idiot?
Yeah.
And basically makes the bat goons shoot him and then punch a hole in the outer hull of the ship. And I'm like, that's that good writing. That's that I have Krang's brain and he's a genius. So I know what you're gonna do. And Shredder's like, yeah, but you don't have control of those idiots. Bye.
Right.
And it's just really good.
It is
really good.
It is.
So we get the classic, all the air is being sucked out of the spaceship. Everyone has to hold onto something. The spaceship is now a huge like Hoover vacuum. Everybody has to hold on trope that happens.
Right.
Shredder activates the portal like a damn boss and hops in with Krang, and they get transported back to Earth. Dreg winds up righting the situation, and then he orders Mung to contact the nuclear power plant that they still have on Earth with orders to bring Shredder and Krang back at once, because this isn't very clear here, but there's a connection between the vortex portal transporter on the Dreadnought and the one that's in the nuclear power plant. Like, those are like a little beam back and forth situation. So the minute Shredder and Krang activate it and peace out,
right,
Dreg knows that they're at the nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
It's
not like they could have gone anywhere. It's like, no, like they just went down there. So like they basically just went downstairs. So like go downstairs and get them. I need them back. You know what I'm saying? So at the nuclear power plant, that time and apparently the proper authorities forgot. Shredder and Krang show up to a hail of laser fire from the Batmen at the power plant. I mean, Shredder winds up taking some cover, and he opens up a nearby computer panel, and he pulls out what is basically what Krang says is the motherboard for the transporter device. He then removes a very small chip on it before reinserting it back into the computer, and also like just openly shit talking Dreg. He's like, yeah, Dreg's such a moron. He won't know what's going on. I'm gonna screw him over. And they basically escape. And I like here that Shredder uses Krang's AT-AT Walker body as a shield.
Yeah.
Because #laserproof plastic losers. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And that's a second instance of Shredder learning, wait a minute, me and Krang can't take all these laser blasts one-on-one. Like, I barely got out of it the first time. So second time, radar dish. You know what I'm saying? Numero trace, laser-proof plastic bitches. Like that's what we're doing. And once again, absolutely love it. Absolutely,
I do too. And
attention to detail.
The other thing that I've been noticing in this half especially is that Shredder's using his hands a lot, and we didn't get to see Shredder get his hands dirty. He like karate chops this gun, and then he just like backhands this Batman guy, and then as they're making their escape, he cuts open this juice bin, whatever the hell's in this, and like, I love seeing him use his gauntlets, like, because we never really get to see him do that. and it's so nice to see a useful
rips
tactical
open
shredder.
the Oh yeah, he rips open the Batman's lifetime supply of Vecto Cooler. You know what I'm saying? That really spoils the party. No, it's really good. Like, so he cuts that open. That's on purpose because he's like, you want to fire lasers at the thing? Oh, you do? Cool. So this causes a fire, which I hope isn't a graphite fire, because those two words are still the scariest combo of words I've ever heard. I think.
What's a graphite fire?
Oh yeah, just go watch anything about Chernobyl.
Oh, okay.
Understand how scary a graphite fire is.
That's all you had to say.
Radioactive graphite fire. That's it's called radioactive smoke. Not good.
Not good. No.
So hopefully we don't have any graphite fires at the nuclear power plant that apparently no one cares about securing. Back on board the Dreadnought, Mung informs Dreg that a whole 4 search parties are hunting down Shredder and Krang. So we're
right.
Dreg is like, well, okay, well, enough of that. You know what I'm saying? Time to conquer Earth. Like, we got that unlocked. I need to conquer Earth. But he has a brilliant idea from the little mini Krang that lives in his head. He's like, wait a minute. And Krang's like, yeah, man. And he's like, Krang. He goes, Krang was a twisted dude. Oh, so he gets this idea. So he's like, all right, Mom, pull up the reality simulator, which I feel like could have just been called simulator.
Yeah.
Like, just
didn't have to specify.
And he inputs some data directly from his brain. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm going literally off the dome. I'm going off the dome on this program. I'm gonna put in this reality simulator. Okay?
Could you imagine if that's your power? Your power is just data transfer from your brain through your eyes. Just let me just send that to you real quick. Just direct infrared connection.
Talk about like airdropping some. Like that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous. Like man, if we could airdrop jokes and thoughts, we'd stop talking. You know what I'm saying?
We just laugh.
And we'd just be like, look into my eyes.
Yeah.
Look into my eyes. It'd be kind of like how they get down in Demolition Man with the virtual reality headsets. Like no one actually like has sex anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You ever see that?
It's been ages Man, right? Since I've seen that. It's been ages.
It's just great because there's this scene where Sandra Bullock is basically goes up to Stallone and she's like, I was wondering if you'd like to go to my apartment with me and come back and have sex. And he's like, and she's very forward about it. And he goes,
right.
Well, okay, I guess. so he gets there and she's like, oh, and she's acting super weird about it. And he's like, okay. And she's like, okay. And she sits down on the couch and he starts kind of undoing his shirt and stuff. And she's like, stop. What are you doing?
Right.
It turns out that, it's all through headsets.
Oh, okay.
So you put on a headset, you connect neurally, and then you basically both finish your thing. And then it's all good. And there's no contact, at all. And,
it's kind of
and that's why she was so direct about it, because it's so much more casual.
Right. So
just connect your brains and have this experience, and then you're done. And she's like, well, yeah, let's just go do that. You can do that with anyone.
So it's
in the future.
It's kind of like what we're doing here, right? It's kind of the same thing, like what you and I are doing.
This is our long 9-year version of that process. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, technology is obviously a lot underdeveloped in our era.
Right,
so it's taken us this long to do what it took Sandra Bullock to do in 10 seconds.
Right, but it's still the basic idea and ending and finale resolution of those two ideas are the same thing, right?
Yeah, no, this will end in a lot of moaning.
Okay, good.
Whatever that is.
I just want to make sure it was still the same.
For example, when you become a mermaid with Wiki Wachi.
Yes.
Then that'll probably be when that climax happens. Will you ever do that?
Yeah, that's true.
That's where we're at. So yeah. So I gotta say this. So this is one of the best villain plans. Maybe the best villain plan I've ever seen.
Okay.
I'll be honest. In the animated series. So he simulates a plan to use the vortex transporter to transport a small piece of the sun into the heart of a major city.
Right.
And in his own words, turn every major city into a sea of boiling gas until they beg me to take their planet.
Yes. That is so good.
And if they don't relent, Mung asks, we'll just burn the whole planet down.
Mm-hmm. Just burn it down.
Like I'm not playing with you.
Right. Like
I will transport. Yes.
Yeah, he's not the diplomat that he was the last season. Or no. Yeah, he's not your friendly neighborhood
Dread. It's not a long-term PR game.
No,
he's not running
not that guy.
Political long-term propaganda campaign. He's like, I will take a gigantic ball of burning hydrogen and I will put it in the middle of the city. I will vaporize your city and be like, do you want me to take the planet back now? No. Right. How about Paris? Yes? Sounds good. Like, that's where he's at. And it's a great plan. It's better than I'll transport all my warships here. It's like, no, this is so much more elegant. You're like,
it is.
No, it is. Vaporize the city. How you doing? You want to play around anymore? Or?
Right.
Like, I guarantee you, the first time that happened, like, it'd be like, no, yeah, Dreg, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, just come put the fires out. You know what I'm saying? Love the plan. So Dreg orders Mung to target the largest city in the United States, which kind of depends on whether you're talking about that in terms of like area or population. Right.
That's true. He doesn't specify.
So in terms of area, the largest U.S. city is Sitka, Alaska. With an area of roughly 2,870 square miles. But with a population of only 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Not a lot.
Meanwhile, in terms of largest U.S. city by population, that would be New York City, which, while coming in at a relatively quaint 468 square miles, was the first city to surpass the 8 million population mark.
Dang.
That's
a lot of people.
The 2000 census. You know what I'm saying? And that is the 2000 census is like the closest accounting we have to the actual population at the time of this event. So for some reason, I was like, largest U.S. city. I was like, I need to just double check this. And also, a very fun fact I found out while researching this. Did you know that New York City was always the U.S.'s largest city from 1790, like when the first census happened forward?
That doesn't surprise me because isn't that where a lot of isn't that like a major port for where immigrants migrated from?
Yes, but like that was later, like 17. Like so, people were always immigrating, but like Ellis Island and stuff, like you know what I mean. Like that's later.
Okay.
So like, what's kind of wild is so they did so obviously U.S. declares independence 1776.
Yeah.
The first U.S. census takes place in 1790. Now, Philadelphia previously was around the time of the Revolution, was the largest U.S. city by far.
Okay.
Early Revolutionary War battles were fought in Manhattan when it was a swamp.
Oh wow!
Right. So like I mean like it didn't take long. But by the time 1776, Philadelphia whipped that ass, biggest city in the country by far.
Okay.
1790, New York is already 14% larger than Philadelphia. And it never relinquished the title of largest population U.S. city, largest populated U.S. city ever since then.
Interesting.
I think that's utterly fascinating to me.
See, I guess
because if you would ask me, like, was New York always the country's biggest city? I'd be like, no. Because
I would have
like Philadelphia and like all the original like states.
Yeah.
Virginia. I figured those states had way more people in them.
Yeah. See, I guess
New York was a lot of it was like marshland and stuff. Like I just it's kind of crazy.
I guess I always had this like uninformed idea, not necessarily idea, but like understanding of immigration and how that now granted I didn't think that like that's the only way people got into the country was from, you know, the New York ports and stuff, but just that I always just like when I think about it's kind of a similar idea to the way that like almost every major comedy in the 90s took place in New York City. And it's like, so we growing up, we had this like understanding that New York was a big deal. So I guess in my head, I just always assumed that like, yeah, people come there and they just migrate there and like as their entry point, and then they just stay there with their families and they just keep doing it that way.
New York like given its access to the water and given like the rivers that go up into it and stuff, I think it definitely had like a real heads up, like a real advantage.
Yeah.
It had a lot of like area that was populated and purpose built after the revolution. I think that's probably the biggest reason. Is so Philadelphia had been, around forever. You know what I mean? As long as British subjects had been in in the US, right?
Right.
But I think a lot of that was kind of old growth. You know what I mean? Whereas New York was like kind of like single and ready to mingle. So when things like when we started to we became an independent nation, and I think there was a lot of room to build a lot of new stuff. So all of a sudden they were building up New York City, so they needed jobs. So there goes your immigrants, coming into the U.S., working in New York City, living in New York City.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just like boosted past Philadelphia, which
Yeah.
was probably a lot more gridlocked as far as like city layout goes. They were probably having to start building like out from Philadelphia, right? Whereas like I think they were still building New York in that time, and I think that's why it got so big. But I say all that to say that I think you're dead on about the immigration through New York for sure being a reason. And then of course by 1790, when New York is already so big, it's like now this is where everyone comes because it's the biggest city, and it just starts to feed back on itself. Like, you go to New York City because it's the biggest city, and then you live in the biggest city, and it just gets bigger, and it just keeps going basically. And it didn't hurt that the roads were paved with gold back then.
It's true.
That was a big one. Find that in another city. You know what I'm saying?
Good luck.
So good luck with that. So Dreg goes to put this plan in motion. Dreg, I got to be really clear about this. Dreg goes to activate the vortex portal to literally beam a bit of the sun into the middle of New York City. He does this. He pulls the lever and goes, screw him, and does that. But the vortex transporter starts acting up. So I it doesn't work. But I just got to say that Dreg just cold-blooded when like, I'll beam this into the... He's like, I'll beam this with my data eyes into the computer. Oh, it does vaporize the city? Fantastic. Mung. Pulls the switch. And then goes, oh, man, what happened? It didn't happen. Right? That's cold-blooded, man.
It is.
That's like getting stabbed in the back with a plastic knife. And you turn around, the guy look at this bit knife going like, that was supposed to be a real knife. And you're like, did you just try to kill me? Like, that's effectively what happened here.
It is.
Like,
it is.
Dreg, Dreg just put a gun up against your head and click and goes, God, really? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, wow. So I love that moment. I love that moment.
It was good. It was good.
So it turns out, Dreg's little mini Krang pops back out at this point to tell him, that Dreg clearly underestimated how clever Shredder is, because reviewing some footage, Mung discovers that the chip that Shredder removed from the motherboard was in fact the subspace amplification chip. Which means that the vortex transporter's range is limited to now about 1,000 miles range.
Yeah.
Instead of the roughly 94 million miles, one would need to nab a little bit of that sweet sunness. You know what I'm saying? Like 98 million miles, but let me get a little of that sun.
Right.
Now about 1,000 miles, which doesn't even get you across the country.
No.
So that really puts a damper on that.
It does. And the fact that how come Dreg couldn't use his Krang brain to determine that Shredder was going to do that, considering that he knew all of Shredder's other moves? I'm curious why that didn't, where the disconnect was there.
So in my head canon, I'm going to say that one thing that I'm going to say that this is a symptom of the kind of like toxic relationship between Shredder and Krang that developed over the course of the series. So Krang had the tech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to show you his tech.
Wait till you see it.
With it. You know what I'm saying? Wait till you see it. You know, is it rusted?
Is it right?
Who knows? Shredder brought the martial arts and the things.
Right.
And I really think that Krang underestimated Shredder's electronics knowledge.
Oh,
frankly.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he kind of thought, I mean, he can do them, I guess, but like, I'm obviously the guy who screws electronics. I'm not even worried about Shredder. So I think when Krang says you underestimated how clever Shredder is,
right,
it's kind of an admission of like, and I didn't really see that coming either, because I just don't think he'd be the guy like to go grab the motherboard and pull a chip off it.
Yeah,
but it turns out Shredder's that boy, and we didn't know it.
He's that boy.
And so Mini Krang is kind of admitting, like, yeah, we both got kind of blown out. Hate to say it, but like, Shredder wins. You know what I'm saying? And he does. So after some bullying, you know what I'm saying, Mung decides that Dreg can still take over the Earth for now by simply dematerializing 100 tons of steel from Earth's structures. And just go ahead and send that back to the nuclear power plant no one cares about. And we'll instruct the microbots to build an invasion force. And then when they hunt down Shredder and Krang, they can get the chip back and then do the whole sun thing. Like, we can do both.
Yeah.
We can do both.
Find you a Mung that can do both.
Yes. Let me get the 100 tons of steel then.
Right.
And Dreg reluctantly agrees. He goes, I really want to do sun thing. I want to do sun. And Mung's like, yeah, but you can't, dude. But let's give me 100 tons of steel. And you almost tell Dreg's kind of like 100 tons of steel. That sounds like a lot of steel. But
it does.
That's not that much steel. That's like 50 cars.
Yeah.
Like
it's not that
50
much.
cars. Like,
yeah.
You kind of wreck like 100 tons of steel at like every single like time every time you start Gravedigger up, if you pull the tarp off Gravedigger and start Gravedigger up, the monster truck, you're gonna crush about 100 tons of steel. That's just gonna happen. Like, that's just the price of doing business.
Exactly.
But we'll get back to that. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to how much steel 100 tons is. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot, and that's why Greg goes, yeah, sure. If you think 100 tons, like, just go to a car dealership, man. We're good. So back with your boy Carter. Carter finds the vortex transporter at the nuclear power plant and rolls up, dodges some Batman lasers to activate the vortex transporter, and beam himself aboard the Dreadnought. Back aboard the Dreadnought again, because that's what we do.
Right.
Carter shows up and attempts to free April and the Turtles, but your boy Dreg shows up with the Batman, and anyways, they just start blasting.
Just start blasting.
Just start blasting. Anyway, I just started blasting. Carter immediately vocalizes his regret for neutralizing his mutation. And he's like, without my mutation, without Big Bird Savage Dragon, I'm worthless. And Leo has to, like, wake himself up because he's dying. Like, right here, I mean, he's straining. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's straining. And he's like, use the skills that Splinter taught you, bro. Just save yourself, bro. Save yourself. And Carter's like, I can't do that. And, like, you can tell Leo's kind of like, you're yelling at me, man, but you got about 100 times the energy I got, and you say you're screwed, bro. I'm screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an iPhone that says 1%, but then the GUI gets sticky, and you're like, this phone's about to die.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When that iPhone dies? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Android does the same thing. It says 1%, you're like, I'm heading to bed. I'm probably good. Then you're like, let me just scroll through that Instagram one more time. And all those pictures start going, you're like, oh, I'm done. I got about 3 seconds.
Right. That's where the turtles are at.
That's where the turtles are at. That's where Leo's at. But he's like, save yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. And Carter's like, I can't do that. So Carter, however, isn't above swearing to get the turtles out while activating the transporter and beaming himself out of a really crappy situation anyways. He says, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. Yeah. I'm going to come back for y'all. I promise.
Later.
And, like, leaves. Like, that's like the Carter equivalent of, like, I got you back. Way back and like abandoning your ass because he's like, I can't do that, but I will come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll pay you tomorrow for a burger today. So your boy Carter is like, oh, but I'm out. But I'm out. And then you take over.
And then I take over. Yeah. So back on Earth, we have Shredder and Krang. You know, we're looking for them. We got Mung's Batman are patrolling the streets. Shredder drops down from above like an alleyway and just like totally takes them out. He gets them to shoot themselves, which is kind of wild. And then he ends up, Ryan, he picks Krang up out of the garbage can. And this
hit him in a garbage can. That's smart as hell.
It is. Look at the looks that are exchanged right here. Like, these
are some dudes that have been through it, man. Those are some guys, like, as toxic as it is,
right?
They've been through the ringer and back.
Like, and
I love that look on Krang. That's my favorite look. Krang's like, bro, you're my bro.
Absolutely. And I don't mean to make it be like, oh, they're I like shipping them. I like the idea of shipping them, but at the same
call
time,
them an old married couple. It's basically what they are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's definitely, like, a comedy element to it to be had. However,
yeah,
it's one of those things where, like, it's really deep though. Like, this is, like, not just for laughs, for the lulz. Like, there's, like, some roots here. And it's none more evident than watching your boy Orokosaki, leader of the Foot Clan, got the bum kicked out, took over, transformed the Foot Clan entirely, came back, made friends with an alien from another dimension, did all this horrible stuff, and then your boy's like, let me put you in a garbage can while I can take care of these other Batmen from another planet, and then I'm gonna pull you out and be like, hey, it's safe, Krang, I got you,
bro.
All the
that's
feels.
How that look on Krang's face.
Yeah,
that's how I look every time you prop me up.
Precisely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right back at you, daddy. Well, so so anyway, they then, we see them then go into a room with a ton of books, and we're not quite sure where this is yet, but Krang's telling Shredder that they haven't got much time. So they end up, Shredder ends up placing him on a science table, or at least that's what I call it. If you know what this is called, please let us know. But he places him on the science table, and Shredder's, I can't remember who says this, but one of them says, "Be still, I know what to do."
It's Shredder. Shredder says it,
Shredder? Yeah. Okay. I just love the caption here. It's just,
I know what to do.
I know what to do. It's like, to the right music. And out of context, this is getting steamy. So,
I don't get it.
You don't get it? Okay, well, we'll wait to the end. We'll explain it.
It looks kind of dry in there.
It does, but just give it a second. It'll get. Anyway, back at the lair, Carter rolls up on his bike, and we get a shot of his license plate again, which is 17952 for some reason. And he proceeds to tell Splinter of the situation, like, what's going on. He's like, blah, blah, blah. April and the guys are in prison on Dreg's ship. They're all dehydrated and just, like, drained, except for April for some reason. And Dreg has got Krang's head coming out of his head. It's very strange. But Splinter says that Donnie T's because the situation proceeds to be Carter talking about how he doesn't want, or he hates that he neutralized his own mutation, that he's like, I should have never done it. And then Splinter drops, some more wisdom, like, how does the chameleon change its color? That's where we're at, everybody. That's where we're at. How does the chameleon change its color?
How does the chameleon change its color? Like,
so that's his response.
That's a biological question, Splinter. Like, how does it?
Yeah.
How does he?
How does he?
That's a great question. It doesn't. There was a chameleon outside my door the other day, and it was straight badass. Yes. So, I don't know if it was a chameleon per se, or like a gecko or something that had like chameleon properties. I know that there's not just an chameleon that does like the chameleon. Several different like lizards have that ability.
There's a karma chameleon.
Your boy was on my. Yes, that's true. That's true. You have a karma chameleon.
They come and go, but it's hard to catch them.
They do come and go, but one came to my front door, and Alicia and I were coming back from something.
Yeah,
and he was sitting on it was so weird. He was sitting on like the white part of my front door.
Okay.
And he was white. And Alicia goes, dude, look at that albino lizard. And I'm like, oh, look. And he's like, white. And I'm like, that's nuts. You know what I mean? But he doesn't really, I mean, I don't know if lizards can be albino, but like his eyes are still black. They're not like reddish or pinkish.
Right.
I'm like, that is kind of wild. And then just before he moves, she goes, is this guy like chameleonic? Like, is this like a chameleon? And I'm like, I don't think so. he jumps over to the dark grayish blue part of like the sidewall of my house, and bro changes color.
That's insane.
Right there, and
That's
then
wild.
runs away off into the darkness. And we're both just stood there like, I'm like, did you see him change? She's like, yes. I'm like, that's nuts.
Yeah. Could you imagine not knowing about that, and then like not knowing that those exist, and then trying to explain that to somebody?
Yeah. I mean, what sorcery is this? You know
exactly.
Black Phillip talking to me? Like,
right.
What is this?
So that's kind of how Carter feels.
I mean, who knows?
That's kind of how Carter feels right now, because that was Splinter's response to him, like not realizing how to like use his mutation, because Splinter tells him that Donnie T's ray didn't take away his mutation. It just it neutralized the mutagen that was making it unstable. So he can still mutate. It's just it's not just going to happen like without his ability, like, you know, without any like unprovoked. And
you
so
would think that Donnie T would have been the first thing he said. It's like, well, hey, Carter, you know, you didn't actually lose your mutation all the way. You can do it, but you have to gain control. You have to do it when you want to now. I fixed it.
Right. And given that Carter has presented himself as a man of science, that they both would have like deduced this at some point. However, there's a disconnect.
I would have
liked it
a little better if Splinter, like, instead of telling him like, oh no, like obviously it didn't like cure it, it just put it under your control. I would have liked it more if Splinter would have asked that in the form of a question. If Splinter was kind of like, do you think that like it reversed the process?
Right.
That could still be in you somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that would have caught Carter's mind. Kind of like, is it still in me?
Right.
I would have liked to have that instead of like the answer. But
instead, Carter's just trying to figure out this chameleon question instead of like, you know. Yeah. Because and so given that Splinter has thrown Carter for a loop, he tries one time to transform, and he can't do it. So he gets frustrated, and Splinter just says, "Hey, you know, the power will be there when you need it, so don't worry about it." And yeah, there we go. We're left with that. Back on the Dreadnought, April is trying to figure out a way to get out, because she's fully like she's got all her energy. She wasn't like her brainwaves or nothing of her was sucked out, so she is fully functioning, and she's trying to figure out how to help her friends that she's also kind of sick of dealing with them. But, you know, as we've seen, but she's trying to make a valiant effort at setting them free. She don't want them to die. Oh yeah. So, she's kind of, you know, trying to think of a way to get this situation resolved. And so April decides to fake like she is out of oxygen and in her cell. A Batman goes over to open her cell, and then she proceeds to use a taser and says, "Sleep tight, sweetheart," and fries this guy, this Batman. Then she runs over to a switch and frees the turtles, who are all too weak to do anything except for just like kind of fall over and just like lay there. And she then she then runs and sees two Batmen running up the hallway, which the perspective is very weird here, because it looks like they're like 5 steps away, but like it takes them forever to get there. Anyway, she runs back over, she somehow manages to have all the strength to lift dead. How do I phrase that? So the turtles are still alive, but they're dead weight, because they can't really move. That dead weight is like April is able to lift these 4 turtles consecutively. Now I guess you can argue that there's like adrenaline that's like helping her to do this kind of thing. And if we're to take anything from Carter's experience, April has been mutated before. So she probably has some mutation still left in her. So maybe she's got some strength in there that's like some feline strength. You know what I'm saying, Ryan?
She was a cat.
She was a cat, and
she was a fish.
And I forgot about that. I forgot about that, because that could explain why she was able to lift that grate, which looks like made out of metal entirely, and it's huge.
Dead ass like thick gauge metal.
Yeah.
Like, she's
so
like, I'll move that.
And she's just like, yeah, I'll pick that up and get rid of that, and then pick up these Ninja Turtles that are probably about 5 foot tall and like all muscle and shell. Yeah. So April's a badass.
Mode, bro.
So she ends up not only moving them off of their cell pads, but she moves them to the wall, moves the grate, then takes them all individually, moves them into the ventilation shaft that she just opened up. And she manages to do this all in the nick of time, like literally like like within eyesight of the Batman that just crawl up as soon as the cage gets put back on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes no sense, but it's just how it goes. So back in the lair, Splinter and Carter are still talking, and Carter can't wait any longer to see if he's going to mutate, because he's trying his hardest and nothing's working. So Splinter reminds him that bringing the others home is not bringing them back to health, which is an actual like legit point, that is something they are overlooking, and that they definitely need to figure that out. Like there are other issues besides just getting them home. So So Carter continues to whine and just keep talking out loud, and eventually he says, he keeps using the word time a lot, and then Splinter drops, in time you'll find your answer, and then this just triggers Carter, like it just sparks, and this is where stuff derails completely. He runs over to the internet, as evidenced here by a computer that says internet
web search
and web search. He's so let me make sure I get all this right. He says something about bouncing a radio wave off the star.
This makes zero sense.
10 light years away. It should return to the Earth 20 years in the future. So he does this,
That
Ryan.
is true.
He does it. And then boom, your boy Landor and Merrick show up. Actually, I think Landor is the female, but one way or the other. Landor and Merrick are pals from the future. We saw them. Let's see. I wrote in my notes somewhere where we saw them, but we've seen them. It's not right here.
Yeah, we see them in Red Skies.
They have been in Red Skies.
They're Red Skies characters. Yeah.
It was Carter the Enforcer was the episode. I want to say it was season 8, possibly. And yeah, basically these are the two that came back to the future, got the turtles, brought them to the future to help them out, and then you see that everyone's enslaved and that Carter is like obviously the enforcer and all this stuff, and they go back, it all resolves, and then the turtles come back, and then they get they put April before they left on this search to find these two people, their names. Well, she finds them, and it turns out to be that they're these two kids on this playground, and then that's who they are as children.
They go back and watch them as kids, and they're like, "That's nuts."
Yeah, and so that's Landor and Merrick. So we've seen them before. They say they use their time machine to get here, and Carter then wants them to use it again to bring the turtles from the past to the present to get 4 transfusions from them. And they warn Carter about the possible time warp paradox of having 2 sets of turtles present at the same time, which apparently Playmates doesn't care about. Playmates will put out the same set of turtles like over and over again. Caution to the wind. And they don't care about paradoxes. So, but nevertheless, these people from the future do, because they've seen the ramifications of, or the repercussions of throwing caution to the wind, like I said, like hazardous acts of carelessness. And so they're warning Carter about this, but Carter, he says that, whatever, we got to do it. This has to happen. We got to figure this out. So, which is kind of surprising, because then it gets into the conversation of like, well, shouldn't Landor and Merrick know that this was going to happen? Or that, like, I guess this is where like the different universes go, like, are, divergent from one another.
Yeah.
And it gets all into that, or we could get into that, but this show definitely does not touch on that, because they're from the same future that and they're in the past, so they should know that this works out fine, which could explain a little bit why they're not so concerned. They seem very like blasé about it, just like whatever, just okay, we'll do this. Like they're kind of playing a part that they know they were going to play. Maybe that's just me, but that's kind of the idea that I took from it. But nevertheless, they do tell Carter that there are some rules to this, that if we get the turtles back or from the past to the present, and we don't return them within 24 hours, then we're going to be charged with late fees. And that's like not good. Because the compound interest, you're going to be bankrupt, and you're going to be like, that's actually
20 years in the future.
Right. Yeah. That's so
No.
they don't say it here, but like when you look it up, when you use the web search on the internet, it tells us that the editor's note says that the slaves that we saw in the episode where we first met Landor and Merrick, those were debtors. That was a debtor's prison from late fees.
Oh,
and
that's
that's
some indentured servitude business going on.
Yep, it all comes back to Blockbuster and movie rentals, stuff like that. Late fees. Yep, that's how they do it.
Okay.
And so, anyway,
Okay.
so they decide that it's worth the risk and they need to do it. So they take off. Elsewhere, Ryan, we see a giant cannon blast. The target was apparently a giant turret that had Shredder on it, and it gets blown to bits, and you could see him like kind of in the corner right there, just like going just flying off. And so and then we see the turtles riding on the flying tank from Turtle Trek, which was here we go, episode 8 of season 8, which is where Landor and Merrick came from.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. So Leo and Mikey jump off of this flying tank, and they pick Shredder up and yeet him into a vat of something. He's like, you can't do this to me. And they're like, yeah, we sure can. Sayonara, dude.
Yeah, we're going to kill you. Bye.
And so while they're watching his descent into the goo, then Landor and Merrick show up right behind them and say there's no time to explain, but they need to come with them if they want to live. And so just then, Shredder pulls out a cannon that I don't know where he got that from, and he says, prepare for your end, reptiles. And yeah, so but just then, no, he does blast. He started blasting. I forgot. He did start blasting.
Wait a minute. I think I saw the mystery. I think that is a Playmates factory 20 years in the future, and that is a vat of goo they're making the Cobra Kai reissues with, and that cannon is actually one of the forearms.
Oh my gosh, it all comes back together.
They're working on like the giant like 8-up series. You
right.
know what I'm saying? That
right.
2-ups. It was 8-ups.
Oh, I love it.
That's the forearm.
Exactly.
For Danielson. You know what I'm saying?
It makes perfect sense now. We solved it. Yep. That's why y'all come to Turtle Soup. That's how we do. So
we did it.
So Shredder blasts the bridge with the cannon arm, and the turtles and Landor and where they were standing, Leo and Mike are hanging on the ledge, and just then Don and Raph show up, and they demand Landor and Merrick, who just look like so creepy right there in the shot, like they're like they just got busted. Whoa. Like they just got busted, like looking in your window, like by someone's dad, and like dang it. But the turtles demand them to put their hands in the air, and it's the typical time traveler, like quickly come with us. We don't have time to explain. That whole thing happens. Raph says, sorry, you must tell us who you are quickly, which is kind of funny. But like I wanted to touch on that real quick. Like that trope is so it's so overdone. Like why do people you would think by now that if you were a time traveler in any capacity, especially even if you're not, let's just say that like you're a human being in the modern age where there's technology, so there's electricity, so and therefore we've presumably had fiction and science fiction at that, where time travel has been a topic of discussion for a long time. So this trope would have come up, and we would know that this is a thing. You would think that, like, especially given, like, even further flung in the future, that civilization would know that, hey, we have time travel abilities. What's the one problem we run into when we go when we time travel? Oh, explaining to the people in the past what we are and what we're doing. Well, what have we been saying? Well, we've been saying we don't have time to explain and hope that works. Well, like, why can't we just come up with like a little like saying, like a speech?
Well, yeah.
Like,
well, no.
You know?
Well. My thing is like, why could, if you didn't have time? This is my problem with it. If you didn't have time to explain, why didn't you just go back in time a little more so you gave yourself time to explain?
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
but I'm right there.
So
I get it.
If it's like, yeah, I'm like, I'll go back 20 minutes earlier.
Right.
And I'll be like, yo, hey, check it out. I need you to sit down because this is time travel, and I have 20 minutes to explain to you why you need to come with me.
Right. Exactly. So that makes sense, and I get that. But let's just for the sake of argument, say that you don't have the luxury of picking when you go back in time. You just end up going back in time. I would think that, like, especially in a society where this technology exists, that there should be some sort of protocol, at least in the zeitgeist, to know that even if it's not like an official thing, like you should just know through media.
Yeah. No, it's a call of the wild. If somebody says, "Hey, man, I don't have time to explain," I think you have to go, "Okay, cool, I'm in."
Right. But you need to be like,
because that's the only way that the cycle keeps happening.
Right. So I would think that they would have something to say like, "Hey, I'm from the future. There's this thing and blah 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 blah," and then there you go. Like like less than 30 seconds, you can say a bunch of stuff, and then hit all the hard points, and then be like, "All right, but we don't have time to go into it. Let's go." And then that way, instead of just like making the argument back and forth.
Well, yeah, I think the main reason that they say, I think we're selling them a bit short. I think the main reason they say I don't have time to explain is because, like, if you have the right charisma and you can convince someone, like, "Hey, come here, like, I don't have time, just come here for a second."
Right.
They'll probably do it. But they might do it. But if you say, "Hey, man, like, here's my 15-second elevator pitch on how I'm from the future and I need to take you back to the past," that's when people start going, "You're crazy, get away from me," right? Like I don't want to go anywhere with you because you're crazy. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Yeah. So yeah. I can see that.
I don't have time to explain is kind of like there could be an emergency. Like, I need your help. Like, I crashed my car over there. My son's still in there. Like, you don't know what the guy's going to ask from you, but you know that he's going to ask something of you.
That's a good point.
And you might go, "Okay, I'll walk with you. Like, what are you talking about?" And then that's when you get zapped. And then when you're in the past or the future, wherever you're going, that's when they're like, "Huh, okay, well, I'm not crazy because we're in the past or we're in the future. So now I'm going to explain to you because obviously this happened to you."
Right.
Versus, like, "Get in my TARDIS. Trust me."
No, you make a great point.
Which
like,
is effectively what, yeah.
I underestimated the element of, like, I guess I don't really want to say humanity, but like the compassion that living beings have for one another, even when someone's saying, "Hey, we don't have time. Like, I need you to help me," or "I need you to let me help you."
I think if most people came up to you, if for most people, if someone came up to them, like, panic sounding and said, like, "I need your help, like, come here," and, like, started running into a direction,
right?
Most people would maybe not, like, run, like, right after them, like, yeah, but, like, would start, like, trotting that way. Like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's just in us.
Right. And then there's like there's Scorpion's way of doing it, which, you know, he just spears you and tells you to get over here. Like, there's that way too, which is effective.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I mean, like one effective time traveler technique would just be to, like, stun them.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Just, like, shoot them with a taser and be like, "Yeah."
But I will say,
shoulder, coming with me.
I will say this though, that does throw a wrench in the trust bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
can be problematic, but it is effective, much like Scorpion's methods. But nevertheless,
you could have time traveler code crap where, like, time travelers are not allowed to take someone against their will.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
You have to say, "I don't have time. You have to come with me." And if they walk towards you, go, "Okay," like, that's consent versus like knocking someone out and taking them to the past or taking them to the future. Because maybe there's like a time travel like moral code problem.
Right. Well.
Going
speaking of taking them places, Landor and the Turtles take Landor and Merrick to the bridge. You know what I'm saying? They've been listening to that Timbaland.
Take them to the bridge.
And so, Raphael's, like, super aggressive with them. Like, the Turtles are just, like, not giving these dudes, these people, any kind of, like, you know,
no slack.
Yeah, no slack. Much like the song says. And so the Turtles say, "And if we don't like what we hear, we'll trash you even more quickly," which is, like, kind of wild. But just then, Krang shows up and with some foot soldiers, and they blast the other half of the bridge where the Turtles are standing too, and then this causes all the Turtles to be hanging off the side of the bridge. And so they all lose their grip, and they end up falling, and somehow the time travelers are able to use their device remotely and transport themselves along with the turtles to the future lair. Back in the future lair, in present day, Carter and Splinter are waiting. Merrick and Landor show up first, followed by the four turtles from the past. Classic, where are we and how do we know this and how do we know what happens and blah, 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 all this stuff. However, Carter says that they do know him, or at least they will. And Landor says in exactly... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
Oh.
I think you're getting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the turtles, everyone's like trying to figure out what's going on. And the turtles are like really like, kind of thrown for a loop because they just appeared in the present. And Carter's like, they're like, who are you? Like, why? They've never seen Carter at this point. So they're like, we don't know you. And he's like, yeah, but you will. You know me. You will. And then I think it's Landor says, you will. In exactly 2 years and 15 days. So season 8, there's 2 years before they meet Carter in season 9 and 2 years and 15 days. So yeah, that's interesting.
That's
so
weird.
Yeah. And anyway, that I don't know. That was just like I always think about that because like especially in animation, like that's a deliberate scene with deliberate dialogue. So who knows if that's going to come back? We still got a little bit of season 10 to go, so who knows what's going to happen? But I mean, Landor and Merrick do, but we in the present we don't. But technically we're in the future, and that is our sorry, I'm getting my mind wrapped around all this time travel stuff. Anyway, they continue to explain that they're time travelers, and this is your future. And so introductions are had and everything. A brief discussion of time travel, and Leo starts freaking out about having to stop the Technodrome. Like he's just like really adamant about like, but we got to stop it. We got to stop it. And then Splinter shows up and assures them that they will destroy the Technodrome. And I do kind of like this because Splinter is almost always in every iteration of the Turtles the calming factor for the Turtles. Like if Splinter is there in any capacity, the Turtles like everything about the Turtles kind of like gets centered with him.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that. I kind of love that a lot. And so that definitely happens here. Splinter just comes in and lays it down with his burnt Cheeto and everything. So the situation is then explained along with the consequences. And it's pretty interesting, the whole thing with like if they're not back within 24 hours, they got the late fees and they're going to be, charged, and it's going to be bad news and all this stuff and the paradoxes and whatnot. So then Merrick and Landor peace out, but say that if they are needed, just bounce another message off a star. And I'm like, why are they in a hurry? They're from the future, so they could easily like know how this turns out. And if they run out of time, can't they just go back and redo it? Like,
no, because in at least in Star Trek theory, when you change an event, then you go to another reality, another dimension.
Like it's a divergent thing. Okay.
Yeah, so they need to know, like, if this version of you needs help, then you need to like beam us a message, because like we're not going to stick around because this isn't where we got to be.
So technically,
like,
if
you do it, then you're going to have your own reality, and it's fine. It won't affect our reality.
Right, but to the same argument, there's a reality where Carter didn't get Landor or Merrick to come, so therefore the Turtles die, and then that universe is turtleless now. They had a turtle power outage, and but since he did, now this future is now, oh goodness. So now Landor and Merrick that we have right here, they go back to their future, but that is the presence. That's a different universe now. But at the same time, the one they go back to, since they came from that, they were pulled from it. That's different too.
We're missing one piece of the puzzle, which is we don't know how this plays out in this Merrick and Landor's timeline. They never tell us that. They never tell us like if the Turtles like do die at the hands of Dreg or not.
Right.
So we don't know.
Interesting.
So, you know, like that's the part we're missing to see if this is like a same reality or a different reality.
Right. So anyway, back at the nuclear power plant that no one seems to care about, with the transporter, Dreg is inquiring of Mung about Shredder and Krang, and he informs Dreg that nothing from Shredder and Krang have he doesn't have anything about them. He doesn't know where they're at or anything. However, the transporter is ready to extract the steel, if you know what I'm saying. And Dreg gives Mung the okay to proceed with transporting the steel for the microbots to make an invasion army. We see the nuclear power plant glow and fire off these transporter beams. They start going after bridges, and
that looks like a weird combination of like the George Washington Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge, like in a weird way. I don't know which one it's supposed to be, GWB or Golden Gate. Either way, don't worry. That is like 80,000 like tons of steel.
Right.
Just a bridge.
80,000.
I looked that up. I was like, literally go to a car dealership, guys. Like you don't need that.
Right.
That was more than enough.
Yeah, and not only did they take the steel, but presumably they took all the lives and all the cars that are on that. So, yeah.
Yeah,
so
the cars alone that were on that bridge at any given time would have been in 100 tons of steel.
Right. So this is just being overly dramatic. And I think that they realized that.
It really is. It's way too much steel.
So
way too much steel.
I think they realized that early on. So then they go to like a construction site and they get some stuff. And then they end up at a train station and they take a train. So
that's fine. Yeah, train car. Yeah, I mean, that's not 100 tons of steel, but it's certainly a lot when you add the bridge to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So they have an abundance of steel. And then we see all this. And we then take a transition back to the strange room with all the books and the science tables, Ryan. And we have our old friends, Shredder and Krang, right next to each other.
Oh, I love this.
Like, this is literally the saddest and sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
this is what love is made of right here.
Yes.
Look at how they're looking at each other.
And Shredder's hand is on Krang's table. Like, that's not, you don't just do that. Like, that's real. Like,
this is like those super sad like young adult like teen romances where like one of them has like a disease and the other one's like trying to heal them. You know, so they're like giving them like donating an organ, and they look at each other and hold each other's hands before they go into surgery. That's basically what this is.
Right. Like this is kind of like the movie A Walk to Remember, where Mandy Moore's boyfriend takes her because she has a disease, and he takes her. I forget what his name is, but he takes her to the state line, and he blindfolds her, and he's like, where am I? You're in two places at once. It's like
2 places at once. I thought it was the 4 corners.
Yeah, no. I think it's just the 2 places, and then it's like, oh my god, and yeah, it's super sweet and sappy, but like still, it like tugs at your heartstring. You're like, oh man. But seeing these two like villains, these two like evil people,
great.
Just doing this, like the humanity.
Honestly, it's
here.
Great. This is what you want. This is the victory lap for the animated series. For
it
the
is
1987 the animated series. This is the victory lap.
It absolutely
This is what you want.
So Krang says, "Thank you, Shredder. I've got my strength back." And then they just then literally for 5 minutes we just see this scene right here. Like it's an animation thing. They just nothing moves. They just stare at each other 5 minutes. It's very strange. But I was here for it.
And the song is like, sometimes when we touch.
Yeah.
That's the song that plays. And then
beautiful.
5 minutes is a long time. But I was here for it, like I said.
Likewise. So then they get off the science tables and they say, good, now all we have to do is get rid of that brain training Dreg. So at this moment, we start to see the science tables disappear because the building that they have been in has been acquired by the transport ray that Mung is using to get the steel out of. And it also not only takes the science tables, but it also takes Krang's android body. Then you get little Krang just looking like defenseless, just in the air, just floating. Well, At this point, all the support beams have been taken out of the building, and it crumbles on top of Shredder and Krang. And they are left to, we don't know what happened to them. So back in the turtle van, we've got the turtles from the past with Carter, present-day Carter, driving the turtle van. And they're driving around, and we see them coming up on a bridge, and the turtle van actually has its lights on, which is surprising. I don't think it's something we've seen.
Carter doesn't play games like road safety, man.
No, he doesn't.
If
he
is call. He pulls over.
Precisely.
If it's dark, if it's raining, if his headlights are on, his wipers are on. You
know
what I'm saying? Like that's true. That's what we're doing here.
It's true. And so like he rolls the windows.
Look at him. Look at him 10-2 right now.
10-2. Dead ass 10-2. He doesn't. And like, if he needs to keep his dog on the bike, he has the windows rolled down. Like he's very conscientious.
Oh no, I mean Carter's not going to be a statistic. You know what I'm saying?
He is not.
He's going to rise above that.
So
that's not going to be a thing.
I also want to take note that Donatello is sitting awfully close to our boy Carter. Like just he's all up on him, if you know what I'm saying. So but I don't think
with that, or?
No, I just don't think the turtle van's a stick shift, but we don't know. So anyway, but we see the turtle van driving, and then a bridge gets taken. And so the turtle van falls off the bridge, just drives off of it. Did I get you with that stick shift?
Oh my god, that was like
sorry.
That was like when you're playing like Battleship and somebody's guessing wrong as hell, and you're like, they're never gonna get my Battleship, and that dude goes B3.
Right.
And you're like, even though it's only one hit, like,
right? It's only one hit, but
that first one, you're like, how you know that, man? You know what I mean? Like that's how it felt.
Right.
That's how it felt. You just called me up on Battleship, and I had to put a red peg in it. I had to put a red peg in it.
I love it. So
I had to put a red peg in it.
The turtle van just drives off this cliff and this ravine or whatever you want to call it, and they're falling into some water, but their lights are still on, and I kind of love this for some reason. But for some reason, there is a trash barge that is just traveling down this waterway, and the turtles just happen to land on it right whenever it's passing by. And so they all pop out. It's hilarious. Back at the power plant, we see the Batman, who are obviously certified in construction vehicles. And they're transporting all of this steel, which looks like a ton of steel, Ryan, like multiple tons of steel. At this point, Mung then takes out the canister of the microbots and tells them to craft to build Lord Dragon army of invasion craft, which I don't know if you got the same vibe, but I kept getting inconsistencies with what they're trying to do with these microbots, like what the whole plan was.
So invasion force, then there was like an invasion craft, an invasion of an army of invasion craft. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, there's some inconsistencies here.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why you get what you get at the end.
Right. Oh, precisely. And we'll get to that. So then we see April and the turtles in the in the air vents, and they're making their way, and the turtles are ready to just die. They're just literally
ready they are.
They're
like,
I'm
done.
themselves. Yeah,
I'm done.
And so April continues on, and she thinks that she's found the transporter room. So they go in and they get down there, but they realize that something's not right. Something just feels wrong. This isn't exactly where they were before, because they've been in the transporter room. Turns out they are in an engine room, I believe is what it was called. And so that if they it's the fusion engine room. And if Dreg turns the engines on, they're going to turn into turtle vapor. So unfortunately, April is not able to get them out. Though she was able to get them in, she can't get the grate off again. So they're stuck there.
Yeah, the grate like locks and she can't get it. Yeah.
Right. So at this point, we see Carter and the turtles from the past show up to the fortified nuclear power plant. We also get they sneak in and they see what is becoming the thing that the microbots are building, and there's these feet, and we don't know why they're feet. Even the turtles don't know what they're for. They're like, what are those legs? Like, what's going on with that? Even they don't know. So they don't have time for that. So the turtles just like run off, and they manage to get on the transporter and make their way up to the Dreadnought. And so they were like super impressed by all this tech, which is kind of funny. But they just keep running, and they're booking it, and they they get to where Carter remembered the turtles being held captive, and there's nobody there because April set them free. And so they don't know like what to do, and they're making jokes. They're like, hey, like, please please tell me that you didn't yank us out of the past for this. And like they just like they're giving him all kinds of grief because they can't find where the turtles are. So so then they run to they ran toward there. The turtles are gone. April are gone. They try another room, but they get caught by Dreg, and fighting happens. Michelangelo uses his grappling hook, Ryan, and I love this thing and I hate it at the same time, but he uses it to grab a fire extinguisher, a very normal fire extinguisher from the alien ship, the Dreadnought, non-human ship, the Dreadnought. Uses this fire extinguisher to blast the fire extinguisher stuff, whatever it is, on a Batman, and it screams. Yeah. And then Carter proceeds behind the Batman and assaults this Batman and tries to mutate. And the Batman did not give consent. This is very strange.
Batman looks absolutely against his will.
He does. This is not good.
And having some man get you behind and just go, mutate! Come on, Carter! Come on, Carter, mutate! You're like, that's disturbing as hell.
It very much so is. And so then let's see. So then Carter can't mutate under pressure. And we see the bat. Yeah, so then the Batman
or maybe that's the problem.
Maybe it is. Could be. So the Batman pursue Leo and Dawn, but Raph opens a door to the room that he was in the right moment and knocks them out. So like all this fighting keeps happening and
rope-a-dope kind of crap.
Yeah. And so it's just all over the place. Leo declares that they're going to attack that alien twerp, but quickly get their shells handed to them, and Dreg goes to blast them, but Carter jumps in the way and he then gets yeeted off just as quickly as he jumped on. And there's a whole bunch of back and forth. This triggers Carter's mutation. Him and Dreg go back and forth fighting, and this causes Dreg to bump into the switch for the engine to turn on where the turtles are at. This happens a few times, and Dreg keeps re-bumping into that switch, and it keeps turning it on and off, and that just keeps happening. So back with the lethargic turtles and April in the engine room, Donnie T suggests to April that to divert something or other. He says some science stuff. Yeah. She goes and grabs what looks to be like a lightsaber toothbrush, and she pulls it out of a machine and just hangs it on another machine.
That was weird.
Puts it up there.
But it's also like alien tech, so I'm kind of like, word.
That's true. Yeah,
maybe
can't argue with that.
The toothbrush on another part and it makes it different. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know how things work. But I do know that we have Big Bird Savage Dragon Carter. He ends up, after a lot of fighting and a lot of other stuff happens, an explosion happens, and it makes a hole in the wall separating the two groups. Once the groups are joined, Carter yeets Dreg into the engine room where the turtles were just at, the lethargic turtles.
GTFO, Dreg, out of here.
Yes. Then things turn red, and Dreg gets thrown again into another room. So all this stuff. So Carter then demutates with one of the most disturbing sound effects I'd ever heard in my entire life. And jokes are made about seeing themselves. It's a little disturbing. Then a strange scene where there are 3 turtles carrying 3 other turtles. Let me find that real quick. There we go.
And they carry like other ones. They don't carry themselves.
Yeah.
Which I think is really weird.
It is strange.
I feel like if I was like maybe like these turtles are trying to like avoid some paradox bullshit. Like maybe like carrying your own body is like I can't. Like this is too much for me. So, but I'll grab like future Eric.
Right.
Because that's a little easier for me to do than grab future Ryan. Because like that might screw my head up.
Right.
But
so
I think that unless you're worried about that, you would grab your own body.
Right. But
like
that might feel
like your own future self.
It might feel weird to touch your own body, like outside of your own body.
That's what I was saying.
Inside of it.
Yeah, unless there's some natural revulsion that we don't know about.
Right.
We have not done this. Maybe it's like one of those things like it's almost like that whole thing. I know you and I are kind of obsessed with this concept, but the whole idea that like if ghosts are real, that a lot of people say that when they actually see a ghost, they're not scared.
Right.
And it's because actually like and this is not real. This is just off in the weeds. But I always think it's an interesting theory that a lot of people aren't scared when they actually see an apparition. And one theory is because there's a part of your brain that knows that that's real.
Yeah.
And that when you're scared of it because you've never seen it, but when you see it, you're like, oh, that's natural as hell. Yeah, that's just a ghost.
Right.
And you're not scared.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something like if you actually were where they're at, like where they're at now, and you actually were like, okay, guys, let's hey, Father Preston, Ryan, and Eric, go grab future passed out Preston, Ryan, and Eric, and carry them in here. Maybe when you went to go grab yourself, you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, just can't. Like, sorry,
just can't do
grab
it.
Preston, can't do it.
Right.
Yeah, can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a weird thing.
It is a weird thing, but it's still weird seeing other turtles grab other turtles. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But especially from the same universe. Now, if they were different universes, like a different iteration of the Turtles, which we see in like and Turtles Forever or whatever, that's different. But here, I don't like it. So, nevertheless, they make it to the transport pad and back to the nuclear power plant. They think they're safe, but nah, they're not. They see the giant metal monstrosity that the microbots have built for Dreg's world domination, and it's this weird like bipedal like tank thing that has a head with like a control room in it, and then like three spiked like praying mantis arms coming out, and then two guns on the side. So it looks like the third version of like some mechanical Pokemon. Like that's what it looks like.
I hope that when like we get to the next episode that it turns out Dreg has like 50, 75, 100 of these. Because if you're telling me that took the GWB building a railroad car and a bunch of like cars and stuff and like science tables to build that, I'm just gonna say I straight don't believe you.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
You know the turtles are gonna rope-a-dope that thing in the next like 5 minutes of the show, right? Like,
oh,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't present anything.
Yeah, no. This is
if anything, they can rope-a-dope that thing like they rope-a-doped Dark Devil Shredder in the OVA. Like,
oh yeah,
they could just be like, "You're so big that you can't hit me,"
right?
And then like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when something is so big, it actually almost stops being scary.
Absolutely.
In a way.
In a very strange
way.
I mean? But 100%. And I love that. But yeah, it would have been more. See, my understanding was they were going to build an army, and that's the thing the turtles can't really stand up against. Is like, and that's where you have like enough smaller things. We even saw this. We saw this in that episode where they when their mutations were still like being a problem, and they were trying to get into that castle, I think that Dreg was using, and they had those robots or whatever they were that would like once you beat one, they turned into 2, and then 4, and then they just kept multiplying, and
then we saw dividing, and the turtles couldn't beat them.
Couldn't beat them, and so that's where I don't know why Dreg didn't go back to that, but now it's just like it seems like his own hubris is kind of getting the best of him, but. Yeah.
Well, this ain't Dreg either.
Oh, that's true. That's Mung. That's true. This
is a Mung operation.
It is.
Yeah. Dreg said, you can do this.
Right.
And Mung's like, I'll do it for you. This is a Mung joint.
It is.
And I got to admit, Mung is not nearly as capable as the high tech.
No, he is not.
Because the high tech had those Hive Guard dudes, and they were badass.
They were.
Like, the high tech knew what he was doing. I don't think the high tech would have built this big dumb thing. And they're like, this is the invasion force. They took a whole bridge. Like, I just don't think that's the thing.
I don't think that's the thing either. But this is the last scene.
Mung is the equivalent. Sorry, just really fast. I think
you're
Mung
good.
is the equivalent of when you lie on all the like qualifications for your job title, and then you get the job title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that you get the job, and it's like, be this warlord's right hand man. You're like, I can build invasion forces. And then you actually get there, and you're like,
you were right,
I think we're just gonna build a big thing. Oh God, right? Because people like that, don't they? Like a big thing.
Yeah.
I'll put blades on his belly. Oh no, man! Somebody help me out. Like that's basically what this is.
That's exactly what this is. But yeah, and not only is that exactly what this is, but this is also to be continued.
Yeah,
and
that is to be continued.
So we've got that, and that is the episode. What was this? Episode 4 of season 10 of the 1987 animated series. So, yeah, where are you at with this? Like, what do you think? Like, are you still digging it? Like, where are you at?
You know what? I'm digging it. You know, the American Lander. I appreciate that they brought those characters back from earlier iterations of Dark Skies. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that some of the writing in the early part of the episode is really good. Like Shredder, like really being cognizant of like laser blasts, and I just really like that. I like the idea that he actually had to think his way through things. I think it's kind of cool. It kind of shows off like a lot of Shredder's like tactical skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I don't know if Shredder in my head actually knows enough to pull out the motherboard and pull the one chip that stops the range of the device being longer than 1,000 miles. Like I don't know. Like, but maybe he can. But I think it shows a lot of his tactical prowess when it comes to like combat. I really appreciate that. And I'm just excited for part 3. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
this episode was pretty cool. There was some weird shit. You know, it was weird, but I'm still kind of down. Yeah, and I definitely want to see what they do with season 3 or with with episode 3 of this like to be continued thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I'm like, I don't know. I can kind of see Shredder doing what he did because like this is a man who is well versed in the highly desirable technology showcase. Like he is somebody who like is so focused on world domination that he would know a little bit about this stuff. I don't think he would be like, I don't think he's Donatello or Carter or even Krang level. No. But I think he knows enough. So it's not outside the realm of possibility for me to see him do things like that. But at the same time, I could also see it be that Krang had told him to do that, like had instructed him possibly to do that. Like, hey, here's the plan. We need to get off this thing. And I think that's more plausible, though. I kind of like that idea better than him knowing to do that. Because if he knows how to do all this, then what's the point of having anyone else in his employ? But true. Again, love Shredder and Krang in this. Their dynamic, their relationship, like the whole thing. Like I think that it's beautiful, and I'm here for it. And it redeems them in so many ways for some reason. Like it's probably my favorite thing that's happened in Red Sky so far is that it has so far it's done I wouldn't say it's completely redeemed them, but it's at least made me want to see more of them again. And that's saying something.
No, it's honestly a last like really good final hurrah for them. And I think the seeing them work together against the odds without the Technodrome and all the tech and the foot soldiers and all the devices and Bebop and Rocksteady. I think it's cool that it's just like those cats.
Yeah.
Like backs against the wall. Like that's kind of where I'm at for it.
Absolutely.
Like I'm kind of all for the two of them just having to scramble. And I just love, and I said this last episode, but I just love how they just look at Dreg and they're like, you suck. Like like no.
Yeah.
Like we're a team. We conquered the world thing, and like we're competitors, man. Like I'm not gonna team up with you. Like I love it. And they have this like kind of like really like kind of flagrant, kind of like punk rock attitude. The whole time they're just like, yeah, no, like I'm not doing it. So
right.
I just love it.
I do too.
It's great.
I do too. And so, well, let us know what you thought. Did you love this? Did you think that Shredder and Krang are an actual couple? What's their ship name? Like, is it Kranger? Is it Shrang? I don't know. I think Shrang might be the one I'm gonna go with.
Shrang's got a little bit of a better ring off the tongue, but I mean, you know, like, who am I to say?
Exactly.
You're to say. At by hitting us up at turtleshoopshow@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying?
Do it. That's how you do it.
We will be back next week with the third part of this. It'll be episode 5.
Is it the third or is it the fourth? I don't know at this point.
Well,
like, I'm so confused.
Okay, I was asking to kick it back over to you. It's going to be episode 5 of the 10th season.
Right.
It will be the third part of this story arc.
The beautiful thing about
correctness.
This season is that I don't know what episode things happened in anymore. It's all a blur.
I get a little that way too. Yeah, I get a little that way too here.
And I kind of like it that way because it makes it feel like a modern thing. And I'm here for it. So, and we hope you are too next week. And and if you liked any of this, and if you wanted to answer any of the questions we have in our ticker below or whatever, you can do that. turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You can also go to the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com. Find all our old episodes and links to everything else that we do and how to be a part of our communities and stuff. You could also find us on Facebook groups. We're on there. Lots of cool people on there. Lots of cool news being shared. We're also on Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word. And we're on TikTok as well. And and if you are just still listening to the podcast version of this, if you want to come over and be a part of the YouTube side of this, the visual side, you can do that. YouTube, just look for Turtle Soup, like and subscribe, and that helps us out a ton. And not only that, but it will help to get your name into the running for the Turtle Soup. We got to come up with a catchy name for it. But for now, the Turtle Soup. Ryan Guy's Turtle Soup. Oh no, it's got to be alliterative. We're gonna have to. We're not gonna do this tonight.
We're gonna have to work that out.
We're gonna have to work it out. But the Turtle Van.
If you've got an idea for an alliterative name for the 87 animated series Turtle Van giveaway,
yes,
let us know. But it needs to be alliterative. It needs to be all the words all with the same letters.
Right. Exactly.
That's alliteration.
And so, so there's that. And if you want to go the extra mile, and you want to be a part of those that the elite force that keeps us from saying clang, you can do that by going over to patreon.com. Find that Turtle Soup has been making a podcast, and you could throw some pennies our way, and you will get some prizes, rewards, gifts, I guess you could call them. And for your support, as well as just the main impetus for doing it is knowing that you are an integral part of keeping the show alive for others. So it's almost a selfless act to ensure the enjoyment of this show is bestowed upon those that are like you, but that might not have the means to do it. So, but anyway. Did that come out all right?
There.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know.
Words.
I was just like
some good words, Father Eric.
I was just walking in the dark, you know. So
set up a hedge of protection for the podcast and keep us from saying clang. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're looking for.
And dull the devil's shears. And
there you go.
Anyway,
quit your stinking thinking.
Quit your stinking thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks so much for everybody showing up, being in the chat. I want to give a shout out to M. Wilson really fast before we go.
Who
has kept me updated on the Bucks score the entire podcast in the chat. I really appreciate it. That's really been helpful.
There you go.
And everybody that watches the show live, and if you haven't done so, please check us out live. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And we'd love to see you out here. So until that time.
Else time. All right. We're back.
No, seriously, M. Thanks. That was those updates were hot. I felt like I was plugged in. I felt like I was plugged into the game. Do you see that? Do you see?
I did.
You guys see all that chattage?
I did. I appreciate that.
21-16 at the half. You know, this and that. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting the play-by-play. I'm like, I'm good. This is great. John Clemens getting throwing some guff in the chat. Man. He thinks chameleons change colors to communicate with each other, emotional state, mating status. I looked it up, but Ryan says I can't Google shit. Yeah, you're right. I said that. Ever since you tried to show me up on my space stuff, you're like, well, actually, like, yeah, now we don't Google. I hold myself to the same. I don't Google either, John. This is sharp. Eric and I have a saying: "Is iron sharpens iron." You know what I'm saying? Like when him and I go at it, battle of wits.
Yep.
Iron sharpens iron, and part of that with me and you, John, is that we can't do we both can't Google. We just have to go off the dome.
Yep.
And Eric will be the referee. He'll be the judge.
That's true. I have a shirt that gives me a whistle. It has a whistle attached to it, and I just blow on it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So real quick, speaking of things that are beautiful, I just wanted to let you know about my story. So we went to Wikiwachi, me and Lex and my wife. And because we wanted to see, there's this mermaid thing there, and
sure.
It's dead. Have you been? Have you ever been there?
No.
Okay. So the main reason we went,
I know all about it though.
Okay. Well, my wife likes weird Florida stuff, and so as do I. We were wanting to look at it to see how it was, because we're wanting to take our nieces eventually, and. So we get there, and it's beautiful because it's from the 40s, I guess, or a lot of it's been there for a very, very long time, like some of the buildings and stuff. And
yeah.
So there's that kind of atmosphere to it, but I didn't look up anything before going there, so I'm sight unseen. I'm just kind of walking into this thing. So we sit down, and we're front row, and the curtains and everything go up, and all of a sudden Lee Greenwood's Proud to Be an American starts up, Ryan, and these mermaids are holding the flag underwater. It was I was crying and laughing and saluting at the same time.
I saw a picture on the chat we have, and I was kind of like, what?
I was blown out completely by this. And yeah, it was delightfully charming.
See, Wikiwachi's so old though.
It is.
So Wikiwachi's so old, I want to know when they started doing that. Because Wikiwachi is so old, and
right.
They've been doing that mermaid show for decades and decades and decades. Did the American flag, Proud to Be an American, did that start 9/11?
Right.
Did that start Challenger? Did that start first World Trade Center bombing? Did that start Oklahoma City in 95?
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know when it started. That's the thing about it. You'd almost want to say, because it sucks that politics is so now that if someone sings a patriotic song and has the flag, you're like, I know what side of this you're on, which is kind of crappy, actually, that it's become that way. And it's almost like one side of the whole thing just fetishizes everything patriotic and makes it where nobody can be patriotic unless you declare out for the side you don't believe in. You want to see that and go, oh, somebody's right wing. That's what did that. Somebody decided it's America and but honestly, Wikiwachi's so old, man. That could have been 9/11.
Could have been.
They could have done that after 9/11. Now it's the way they open every one of them. It's been that way for almost 20 years.
And I kind of hope that's the way it was.
It's been almost exactly 20 years since 9/11. I'm not even going to get into that.
Right. Never forget.
That's too much.
Too much.
No.
Yeah.
9/10. But that's the day. That's the day that I memorialize.
You did.
Tomorrow.
Did never forget. We brought up of the Clan MacLeod stuff unintentionally.
We did
3 times this episode, because that there was that other quote is also the Two Places at Once was also on that record.
No. I mean, if you trot around our shared memories, they're all over that stuff because we sampled all that stuff. And if we didn't sample it, we mentioned it in those lyrics and stuff. Yeah.
Do Do you remember when we had the well, it wasn't an argument necessarily, but like you talked to me, and rightfully so, I think, and in hindsight, I think you cooler head prevailed, but you, I really wanted to have the entire Charles in Charge theme song on that record slowed down. That sample, do you remember that? But then we just ended up doing like a part of it, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's
like you and I like slowed it down and we bumped to it for a little bit and we liked it, but then you're like, well, it's gonna be an entire track, and I'm like, oh, you mean like a big long sample? No, that's just a track. I'm like, Eric, we can't take the Charles in Charge theme song, slow it way down, and then that be a track on this EP we're gonna do. You're like, why not? I'm like, because it's not our song.
Yeah.
Like, and you were like, well, I don't know. Okay, wait, so explain that to me. And like that classic Eric way. And I'm like, and eventually enough conversation happened where I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I can't. And you're like, okay, no, I get it, man. This is classic Eric. I get it. Okay. But like, how could we still do it? And I'm like, okay, well, let's just take a bit of it. Yeah, let's take a bit of it. But I remember like that conversation was so funny because I loved it. Like something about that, because that's the problem. Eric, so working with Eric creatively, Eric never says anything that's just bad and dumb. Eric never goes like this dumb thing, and you go never.
Yeah,
it's always like this. It's usually this funny thing. That's also, it could be genius if you think about it the right way, and you're like, oh, but that involves like doing this, and I don't want to do that. And he's like, okay, but like, how could we still do it?
Right.
And I love you for that, because it actually makes my mind stretch out. And I'm like,
yeah,
how could we still do it? Because it's not a bad idea at all. It just, we just can't put the Charles in Charge theme song at half speed as one whole track. Like,
but what
I just
can
don't feel
we
like that's the thing I want.
Right.
But what can we do? So I think we included what you and I thought was the funniest part, which was actually the beginning. Like, we were like, I think I said, I was like, what, like, we were like, what's the funniest part of it? What's the best part of it? And of course, it's new boy in the neighborhood. That's the funniest part.
Yes.
Like, that's actually the funniest part.
Yeah.
Because when you take that, like, you know, that girl performing the song and she's trying to be cute, she's like, new boy in the, she's kind of like breathing over it, kind of like she's like, oh, how dreamy. But when you slow that shit down and it sounds like a weird man like staring through his like front window, that's you got me.
Yeah, it's too good. So.
Oh, damn them toms. Yes, M. Those toms were epic.
Mm-hmm.
At half speed. Yes, love it.
Goodness. Oh man.
Oh god, we got a lot of stuff in the chat.
We do.
M says he worked with a guy. He works with a guy who has a tat. It's a cross wrapped in an American flag with a crown of thorns on it.
Oh my lord.
See, that's the problem. Like, I really don't have a problem with any of that iconography. Really.
Right.
When it's all together, I'm like,
yeah,
something tells me and you don't get along.
Yeah.
like you don't really. I hate that. I hate that you can take those things and combine them and make them into a thing, because in a perfect world, those shouldn't be a problem.
Precise.
Like, that's what kills me. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I won't get that bad. I promise.
Or let's it's probably better to move
on. Oh, Oscar Wilde. John Clemens dropping the Oscar Wilde. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious.
Dang.
I'm gonna put that
on
my
stuff,
remix.
John. Did you say put that on the remix?
I'm gonna put that on my remix. That's pretty great. We knew a guy who said that, right? Is that where we got that?
Put that on my remix.
Did we know a guy in college who like that's what he basically said to, like, he said that when he meant like, oh, I love what you just said, but instead he goes, I'm put that on my remix. I'm gonna put that on my remix.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember that?
I probably tuned that out because I didn't like how people were using the term remix back then. That just bothered me.
I didn't like it either, but for some reason I picked up on that cue, I think, because I was like, that kid keeps saying that. I'm like, oh, but like, he's saying it. I think it was back in college. I was like, but he's saying it because he likes what I said.
Right.
So it's just his way of saying, oh yeah, hell yeah, man, fuck yeah, I'm all about it. Like, that was his way of saying that.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But I'll put that on my remix. Oh, I'm gonna put that on my remix.
Goodness. Remix. We were talking today about death playlist and like making a playlist for other people's death and like how macabre all that is in our band chat.
Yeah. Oh God,
it was getting dark.
You need to get off the mortality shit. You need to get off the mortality.
I do. I need to.
You have a problem.
I definitely do. It's bad. It's real bad.
You got a mortality issue.
Yeah, I just got to stop.
Normally, that's not a good. That'd be the funniest way to describe somebody dying, wouldn't it?
What?
Is he okay? Well, no. So the
He's
problem is your boyfriend had a bit of a mortality issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't call him dead. I would call him mortality. Oh God, I can't think of a good phrase for it. It was like, oh yeah, mortality challenged.
Yes. Mortally challenged. Yeah.
He's not dead. He's mortally challenged.
Oh, that's great.
M says, "Put that on a cracker, dude." All right, we got to. All right, so we got to name this episode because this is getting like stupid late, and and Eric and I still have to talk about the show after this happens. You know what I'm saying? Eric's gonna be like, blah, 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 "Gotta go to sleep." I'm like, "Yeah, but I still got 5 minutes."
Yeah.
So
we were Craig, right?
So I want to acknowledge that we're writing something down. I want to acknowledge this. I got to go back in the chat a little bit. Everyone's hitting the chat. I love all this chat, by the way. You guys are like fantastic. So M dropped Ryan Guy's radically rewatchable rerun raffle giveaway for the.
That's pretty good.
That one's going in the spank bank.
Yeah.
We're not going to declare it the winner, but that's
up there. That's what we're
looking for something in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually really love that.
I do too.
And that's going in the spank bank.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I cleaned my whole desk off. Like, I'm not gonna take my camera off because that's obnoxious. But like, you should really see how organized and clean my podcasting like video area. It's
immaculate.
It looks like something out of like an IKEA catalog.
Oh wow!
You'd be like, oh, that guy works there. It looks really nice. Problem is that I got rid of all my like notepads. They're not on my desk anymore. Like, so all the notepads I used to like write notes down, they're just gone. So I'm just gonna write on the back of this manual for my adjustable desk.
There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah. It might have an actual notes section in it in that manual. Well, no, that's probably only for video games where it had the notes section. And, yeah.
Notes. That'd be amazing though if like a manual for like how to operate and assemble your electric desk. If it was like notes, you're like
notes, yeah.
Do I use it? That'd be awesome. All right, so what is it?
So yeah, and something to do with Shrang. Yeah, that's gonna be the name for the
oh yeah. You lead this. You lead this. I'm gonna write this thing down.
Yeah. So yeah, we were thinking about something with Shrang. So like we need a play off of that. Like I don't know. My brain is like completely fried. I can't think of anything. Shrang, bang, slang, dang. I'm just rhyming. Now I'm rhyming. I'm just rhyming, Ryan. I'm naming nuts right now. That's all I'm doing.
No, you are. Macadamia nut. That's one you should drive her out the wall.
Right.
Macadamia nut. Pine nut. That's a town, but it's also a nut. Because he comes from pine nut, and he just name it nuts. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
I was gonna pause it or put up there. We found love in Dimension X, but like we found love in a hopeless place, like to that tune. But I don't know. It doesn't have the Shrang in it, so. But
yeah, I also just really don't like that song.
Really? Because I love that.
I find the melody reductive. The melody's really reductive. I don't like it.
Yeah.
There's something about the way the melody's built. I'm not a music scientist, so I can't describe to you like, oh, it's the incidental combination of this flat note and this like part of the scale I don't like. Like I can't musically scientifically explain it to you.
Right.
But there's something about the da na 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 na. That's fine. Then it's the da na 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 na. That descending like and going up to that highest note and descending down. I do not like that.
I could see
like
that.
If you brought that to me, like as a like vocal melody or like a guitar melody, I would be like, I love all of it except for that 3-note dissension. Like I don't like that. I think it sounds like a song you'd sing on a commercial. It sounds like a Home Depot guitar line. There's something like I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why. There's something about it that I do get. I understand what you're saying, and it makes perfect sense. But I don't know. There's something about it that kind of just speaks to me in a weird way. But it could be that because and
tell me you don't find Shring attractive.
Good.
Tegan and Sarah reference.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Sipping tang with my Shrang gang, John. Oh, and Wilson with that Shrang actually. Shrang Alabama. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
I like where this is going.
No, we're hitting. I feel like episode title might be like on autopilot right now. I think the brain trust of M. Wilson and John Clement, they're like cycling through them. They're going to produce one in a minute. Because they're getting damn close.
Yeah.
Shrang actually is really that's actually really funny to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of like taken with that.
I don't think I've used the F word in the last like 3 episodes of the podcast. I've used it 3 times tonight.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in myself.
Now,
granted, they were only during postgame.
Precisely.
1 during pregame and 2 during postgame.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. That's a huge accomplishment. So
my language has been a ton better, I think.
Oh, I mean, just in general, from what I've talked to you and on the podcast, yeah.
Shrang kind of wonderful. Oh, I don't limit it when I'm talking. Do I actually limit it when I'm talking to you now? I didn't even notice that.
I don't know. I haven't been totally paying attention, but like I haven't been like, man, Ryan, not like
man, Ryan just did cursing me out the other day, just telling me hello.
Yeah.
I do curse a ton though. God, it's tough.
Man, that's some kind of wonderful, but Shrang kind of wonderful.
Yeah,
Shrang actually is still getting me. I think that
Shrang actually is making me laugh a lot too. The more I think about it, because it's
live and let Shrang.
It's pretty good.
Oh, these are so great. God bless you guys. Thank you.
You know you did.
Shringless in Seattle.
Shringless in Seattle. I know. No, they're killing me. They're killing me. They're so good. So they're killing it with it's doing that that romantic comedy, romantic drama like names.
Excuse me.
String actually might be it.
I think that's it.
That's just
there's
I love the James Bond titles that John's doing. Those are really funny.
Yeah.
Live and Let Shrang is really good. Well, I just keep seeing Shrang actually, and for some reason that's like kind of killing me.
Yeah, for some reason that's
ever since I saw it.
Yeah, there's something simple and elegant about it that is
that
I think that's it.
Shrang twice. It's pretty great.
The Shreg who
I think we gotta go with Shrang actually.
Yeah. Those are good though, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm slapping the table on punch drunk Shrang. It's pretty good. The shrinking singer. No,
I don't know. The way you delivered that was the it's not funny, but you're running it anyway. And so
I was going for my man Zach. I was going for Zach. I was going for the Bears.
Right.
Where they're making all the bear jokes in comedians comedy.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, the Bears. He has that smile, like it's so funny. You ready to do this? You ready to do Shrang actually?
I am.
For your Shrang only. Oh my god.
All right. So,
are you ready? We're doing Shrang actually?
Yeah. You got this one?
I'll do the number. You do the string, actually. I haven't done the number in a while, I don't think.
Okay.
Shang-Chi, Legend of the 10 Months in Dimension X. See, we keep coming. There's a million. You guys are great.
That's so good. I saw that movie. It was actually really good. I enjoyed
Punch drunk Shang. Did you?
I saw it in a theater, dude. I went to a theater. I didn't
you catch
tell
COVID?
you this. Yeah, I caught
Did
it.
you catch
and I
COVID?
threw it right
Did you
back
die?
at. Yeah, I came back.
Are you mortally challenged?
I'm mortally challenged. Yes, yes. All right. So, any direction? Shrang.
I think we're just gonna run. I think we're just gonna run it.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you do freestyle and see where you take it.
Okay.
All right. This is Turtle Soup, episode 264.
Shrang, actually.
Okay. Shrang.
Shrang, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for something different on that. It's got a little bit of like. Just try it again. Take a different approach.
All right.
I don't necessarily know what approach I want.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 264.
Shrang, actually.
That was pretty good. Also, I realized I didn't say the 60, but this time I did. So
I know. I heard it like with my ears.
Yeah.
And yeah,
these girls can't stop looking at our dits.
Oh my Jesus, goodness. That was a throwback.
I actually kind of like that because I kind of almost like it straight because you know what I mean. Because I kind of feel like if you get too like Shrang, actually, you know what I mean. If you get too weird, it just makes it too strange. I think I actually kind of liked it. You just saying it because it's funny just to hear it. I think I don't think it needs like a lot. You know what I mean? It doesn't need a lot of mustard to be good. M says give him that daytime drama read. Yeah, run that daytime drama.
What is that like?
Shrang, actually.
Shrang, actually.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, this one's for you.
Ready?
Man. Like for you. Clocking in. Here we go.
Clocking in. You take your teeth out, put them back in. What the fuck? You just go, you know? Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 264.
Shrang, actually.
I like that. That was good.
There you go.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. I feel like we all learned something today, you know?
I feel like we did. I feel like like when Carter gets up behind you.
And then he thinks you're a stick shift.
He's just trying to mutate on you. And he thinks just shift and maybe like I don't know. Like maybe Tony on that fucking stick shift. I don't know if one's got me in real time as good as that one got me. I'll be honest. That it had that sweet heat because it snuck up on me. You said like, well, I mean, I don't think the Turtle Man's a stick shift, and I knew it the minute you said it. I was like, okay, I get what you're saying. But then you stayed on the image of him in the middle and kept talking, and the more I started seeing him sitting in the middle, and the more your words and your comedic timing kind of worked, the more it started like the sweet heat kind of burned me up, and I was like, oh, that's gonna get me actually.
Oh yeah,
those are the best ones.
They are the best. That's what you live for. But you know, that wasn't a bow
sweet heat.
That wasn't a bow staff.
Like